Chapter 460. The battle in the primal chaos was still ongoing. Whether it was Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, Shen Yu, or the 9 ancestors of the devil race, heavenly saint tribe, or star spirit tribe, the supreme Dao Yuan in their bodies could be said to be endless. In a situation where the difference in strength was small, even if they fought for 100 years, there would still be no victor. The patriarchs of the demon race, heavenly saint tribe, and star spirit tribe often confronted each other in the past. Let alone 100 years, even if it was 10,000 years, hundreds of thousands of years, or even millions of years, they still had the patience. However, Yi Tianzong did not want to drag it out like this. He still wanted to take advantage of the time before the spirit-forbidden extremists erupted to collect more myriad origin-flowing crystals in the immortal mansion. He wanted to take advantage of the time when the human race's providence was exploding to comprehend more of the mysteries of the laws of heaven and earth. He did not have much time to waste with the enemy. Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu, who had long been connected to Yi Tianzong, also sensed Yi Tianzong's thoughts in an instant. Therefore, the 3 of them struck out their most powerful divine ability together and pulled away from the patriarchs of the demon race, heavenly saint tribe, and star spirit tribe. Yi Tianzong said, "If this continues, the outcome will not be decided in hundreds of thousands of years. In my opinion, why don't we choose to stop the war? I can promise that the human race will not take the initiative to attack your 3 races. How about it?" If you want to stop the war, tell me the secret that allowed you to grow to such a level in billions of years. Otherwise, don't even think about leaving. The human race will be completely annihilated from now on. As soon as Yi Tianzong finished speaking, the demon race's demon spirit patriarch, who was also the perfect supreme heavenly venerate who had appeared in the spirit-forbidden extremis and confronted Yi Tianzong at the beginning, directly stated the conditions for stopping the war. Yi Tianzong's face immediately turned gloomy when he heard that. He stared at the demon spirit patriarch and said with a smile, "Very good. It seems that you really think that I am afraid of you. Well, since you don't know what's good for you, I will let you know what regret is. Vast and boundless yin and yang combination." The instant he finished speaking, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu, who were already prepared, completed their combination. Within the boundless primal chaos, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu's figures disappeared. A tricolored beam of light that seemed both real and illusory appeared within the primal chaos. Then, the tricolored light beam disappeared in an instant. When the tricolored light beam disappeared, the 9 supreme ancestors of the devil race, heavenly saints race, and star spirit race felt a great sense of danger. It was the same feeling they had when they were weak and facing a strong enemy. They did not know what method Yi Tianzong's team of 3 had used. However, they did their best to defend and evade. With a thought, countless space-time streams swept over to act as a defensive barrier. Next, they leapt out, jumping out of the endless space-time to erase their traces. When the tricolored light beam appeared again, it was in front of the devil spirit ancestor. The devil spirit ancestor felt his soul leaving his body at this moment. A fatal crisis was approaching him. He wanted to dodge and defend, but the tricolored light beam ignored all space-time distances and penetrated his head in disbelief. Then, it continued to penetrate his perfect supreme Tao body. Ah! Ah! A blood-curdling scream reverberated in the boundless chaos. The 8 supreme ancestors of the demon race, the Heavenly Saints clan, the Star Spirit clan, and the other 4 supreme ancestors, who had already fled, were horrified to see the demon spirit ancestor being slaughtered under the 3-colored light beam, unable to resist at all. The perfect supreme Tao body that should have been indestructible, the endless power that should have been able to split open the sky and destroy the world, was so fragile and powerless under the tricolored light beam. The scream only lasted for 10 seconds before the devil spirit ancestor's voice came to an abrupt end. He was completely lifeless. When the tricolored light beam disappeared, Yi Tianzong's team of 3 appeared on the spot. Then, Yi Tianzong put away the damaged body that was full of holes. When Yi Tianzong looked in the direction of the Devil Race, Heavenly Saints Race, and Star Spirit Race's patriarchs, the 8 supreme ancestors who were previously invincible and domineering, all shuddered. The scene that they had just seen had really subverted their understanding. They did not know what kind of taboo technique it was that could actually kill a perfect supreme heavenly venerate in just 10 seconds. Shouldn't a perfect supreme heavenly venerate be invincible and immortal? How could he die so easily? Since the devil spirit ancestor had died so easily, did that mean that they would also die so easily? At the thought of this, everyone was extremely regretful. They should have agreed to Yi Tianzong's request for a ceasefire. Otherwise, how could they have angered him to the point that he directly killed an existence of the same level as them? It was not that they did not think that such a taboo technique would have a limit, but they did not want to risk their lives for others to test it out. While these people were hesitating, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu were rapidly recovering the power that they had consumed. Although the taboo technique Boundless Infinitum, Yin-Yang combination, had killed the devil spirit ancestor very quickly, the consumption was also terrifying. In just 10 seconds, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had consumed more than 60% of the power in their bodies. At that moment, in the inner worlds that the 3 of them had opened, the Xiantian Yuan crystal veins quickly burned and disappeared. Then, a huge amount of pure Xiantian Yuan Qi began to replenish the power that the 3 of them had consumed. When the 2 of them had recovered 80% of their power, they used Boundless Infinitum, Yin-Yang combination again. The illusory tricolored light beam appeared again. Then, at an incomprehensible speed, it directly passed through the endless layers of space-time and appeared in front of a star spirit ancestor, Ancestor Nebula. In his fearful eyes, the tricolored light beam penetrated his head and body. Another scream shook the chaos. The remaining 7 people watched in horror as Ancestor Nebula was also slaughtered in just 10 seconds. Then, only the remains of his body were collected by Yi Tianzong. The Xiantian Yuan crystal veins in the 3 of them burned again, and the power in their bodies was rapidly recovering. When Yi Tianzong's gaze passed through the endless spacetime and looked at the remaining 7 people, the remaining 7 people were truly terrified this time. It was not that they did not help Ancestor Nebula when the tricolored light beam attacked, but that tricolored light beam did not seem to exist. Their attacks directly passed through the light beam and hit Ancestor Nebula's body instead. This result made them tremble with fear and flee far away once again. Seeing that Yi Tianzong and the other 2 had no intention of stopping, the remaining 7 perfected supreme heavenly venerates could no longer sit still. They knew that Yi Tianzong and the other 2 were recovering their power, but they did not dare attack. If Yi Tianzong and the other 2 wanted to hide, they would not be able to do anything. Powerhouse of the human race, we were in the wrong this time. Our Heavenly Saint clan approves of your proposal to stop the war. Why don't we stop the war now? From now on, our races will not interfere with each other. In order to show our sincerity, our Heavenly Saint clan can give up a territory as an apology. Don't push us too far. You may be able to kill us, but before that, we will exterminate the human race first and then destroy the world. At most, we will perish together. Ancestor Tian Yuan, the strongest person in the Heavenly Saint clan, said to Yi Tianzong. Yi Tianzong glared coldly at the patriarchs of the demon race and the star spirit race. If they did not know what was good for them, he would continue to fight. Although Ancestor Demon Sky of the demon race and Ancestor Star Mark of the star spirit race felt aggrieved and helpless, they suppressed the hatred in their hearts and offered the same conditions as Ancestor Tian Yuan. They would each give up a territory as an apology. Otherwise, they would perish together. I never take the initiative to stir up trouble, but I'm not afraid of others finding trouble with me. I don't care if experts of the same level kill each other. However, if you dare to act recklessly against the human race in the future, don't blame me for being impolite. Don't think that you can threaten me by perishing together. At most, we will wander in the chaos and find another great thousand world. Humph. After he finished speaking, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu broke through the boundless chaos and headed in the direction of the great thousand world that they sensed. The 7 patriarchs of the heavenly saints tribe, the demon race, and the star spirit race all had ugly expressions on their faces. In the great thousand world, the human powerhouses were extremely worried. They knew that something must have happened in the great war of chaos when they heard the 2 tragic cries. Although they did not know what the current situation was, they were extremely worried when they thought about how the vast expanse holy man and his wife had to face the 9 supreme patriarchs of the demon race, the heavenly saints tribe, and the star spirit race. At the same time, they prayed that the 2 cries did not come from the vast expanse holy man and his wife. On the other side, the supreme patriarchs of the demon race, the heavenly saints tribe, and the star spirit race were extremely excited. They thought that their own patriarchs were definitely the most powerful. Even if they could not defeat the patriarchs of the demon race and the heavenly saints tribe, it should not be a problem for them to deal with the 3 newly ascended Great Circle Supreme Patriarchs of the human race. Furthermore, the patriarchs of the 3 major races had the same target. They were already thinking about how they were going to divide the territory and destiny of the human race. At the same time, they formed an encirclement to encircle the human race's supreme patriarchs and cut off all their escape route. Then, just when they thought that victory was in their hands, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu broke through space and time and descended into the great thousand world. In particular, the 3 of them exuded a supreme killing aura that came from killing 2 Great Circle Supreme Patriarchs consecutively. This made them seem even more powerful. Oh? Humph! You're courting death. Get lost. The 20 human Supreme Patriarchs were pleasantly surprised when Yi Tianzong and the other 2 saw the Supreme Patriarchs of the demon race, the heavenly saints tribe, and the star spirit race surrounding the human race. Their faces immediately darkened and they sent out a slap. Although the supreme heavenly venerates of the demon race, heavenly saints tribe, and star spirit tribe were numerous and powerful, they were still not enough in front of 3 perfected supreme heavenly venerates. Besides, perfected supreme heavenly venerates naturally suppressed other supreme heavenly venerates below them. Therefore, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu each slapped the supreme empyreans of the demon clan, heavenly saints clan, and star astral clan away, leaving the supreme empyreans of the 3 clans in shock. Then, he said to the supreme patriarchs of the void and the others, "Let's go back to the human race." After saying that, he turned around and looked in a certain direction outside the world. Then, he casually created a spatial passageway and stepped into it to leave. The supreme patriarchs of the void and the others did not stay after hearing that. They were all quick-witted and intelligent people, so they naturally knew that Yi Tianzong and the other 2 had returned safely. This meant that the people of the demon race, the star spirit race, and the heavenly saints tribe must have suffered a loss. Therefore, they left excitedly. Before they left, they even cast a mocking glance at the supreme patriarchs of the 3 races. After returning to the spirit-forbidden extremis, Yi Tianzong's voice rang in the minds of all the human supreme patriarchs and heavenly venerates. The demon race's patriarch Demon Spirit and the star spirit race's patriarch Nebula have been killed by the 3 of us. The 3 patriarchs have already made a truce oath with me. From now on, they will not interfere with each other. The 3 races will each cede a territory to the human race. However, these territories are of no use now. The human race's primary goal is to survive the epic tribulation. Everything else can wait. As long as we have the strength, we will have plenty of territories. Everything can wait until the next epoch. Next, I will go into seclusion to recover my strength. I will leave the human race in your hands. After that, the supreme patriarchs and heavenly venerates of the human race calmed down. At the same time, they admired and worshipped Yi Tianzong and the other two patriarchs. The heavens expanse holy man and his wife were indeed powerful. They were so powerful that they could even kill a consummate supreme patriarch. The human race was really lucky to have such powerful people around. They would not have to worry about surviving the epic tribulation. On the other side, after the human race left, the supreme patriarchs of the sky-high celestial tribe, the 9 heavens phoenix tribe, and the ancient royal family took the opportunity to leave as well. Only the supreme patriarchs of the demon race, the heavenly saints tribe, and the star spirit race looked at each other in bewilderment. They suddenly had a bad feeling. Previously, there were 2 tragic screams that were filled with despair. Previously, they thought that the screams were from the consummate supreme patriarchs of the human race. They thought that the screams were from the consummate supreme heavenly venerates of the human race. However, the 3 consummate supreme heavenly venerates of the human race appeared unscathed. In that case, it could only be the supreme patriarchs of the demon race, the star spirit race, and the heavenly saints tribe stared at the chaos outside the world barrier. They kept comforting themselves. How could their patriarchs die? Consummate supreme heavenly venerates were the most powerful people in the world. They were immortal. Who could kill a consummate supreme heavenly venerate? However, when Tian Yuan, Tian Xian, Tian Chen, Mo Tian, Mo Yu, Xing Hen, and Xing Yao appeared in the world of the myriad races, the supreme heavenly venerates of the heavenly saints tribe rejoiced. On the other hand, the powerhouses of the demon race and the star spirit race felt as if their faith had collapsed. It turned out that the 2 screams of despair were the screams of their patriarchs before they died. How could this be? How could the invincible patriarchs die? The supreme heavenly venerates of the star spirit race and the demon race could not understand. However, when they saw the gloomy faces of their patriarchs, they suppressed their curiosity and did not ask any questions. Instead, they just looked at their patriarchs quietly. Mo Tian and Mo Yu of the demon race glanced at the heavenly saints tribe's camp coldly and said, "Go back." After that, the 2 of them left. The supreme heavenly venerates of the demon race also followed the instructions of the 2 patriarchs and returned to the demon race. After the demon race left, the 2 patriarchs of the star spirit race, Xing Hen and Xing Yao, also left with the supreme heavenly venerates of the star spirit race. Before they left, they also glanced at the heavenly saints tribe's camp coldly. The 3 patriarchs of the heavenly saints tribe, Tian Yuan, Tian Xian, and Tian Chen, also looked gloomy. The patriarchs of the demon race and the star spirit race had died, but the heavenly saints tribe was unscathed. As a result, the heavenly saints tribe, which had originally been evenly matched, became the dominant force. This was something the demon race and the star spirit race did not want to see. The heavenly saints tribe would definitely be targeted by the demon race and the star spirit race. Sai, let's go. Remember not to provoke the human race in the future. Focus on defending against the demon race and the star spirit race. Patriarch Tian Yuan said to the 150 supreme heavenly venerates before he took a step forward and disappeared. Chapter 461. Time passed slowly. More than 6 million years had passed since Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had fought the patriarchs of the demon race, heavenly saint tribe, and star astral tribe. During these 6 million years, the human race had been concentrating on dealing with the increasingly powerful chaotic ferocious spirits in the spirit forbidden extremis. They had minded their own business with the demon race, heavenly saint tribe, and star astral tribe. However, the demon race and star astral tribe had temporarily joined forces to increase the intensity of their attacks on the heavenly saint tribe, causing the heavenly saint tribe to be exhausted. During these 6 million years, the spirit forbidden extremis that the human race was stationed in had erupted 10 times with chaotic ferocious spirits. However, they were all quickly quelled by the increasingly powerful human race. Currently, the number of heavenly venerate experts in the human race had reached more than 1,300. The number of supreme heavenly venerates had also reached 36 after Yi Tianzong had distributed some myriad origin flowing crystals. Perhaps it was because the human race was a race born in the current era and was favored by the heavenly way that the human race's fortune had exploded towards the end of the era. The human race's cultivation speed had also increased, and it had become easier for them to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth. Supreme heavenly venerates in the void, who had not taken a step forward for hundreds of millions of years, had taken another small step forward and reached the sixth-step supreme heavenly venerate realm in just over 6 million years. Supreme heavenly venerate Xingyang followed closely behind and reached the fifth-step supreme heavenly venerate realm. Emperor Jiu, Wanlei, Guyu, Taixian, and the others had also reached the third-step supreme heavenly venerate realm and were close to the fourth-step supreme heavenly venerate realm. Yi Haoren, Yi Haoyun, and the others had cultivated the secret technique passed down by Yi Tianzong in the past, so their foundation were much better than the others. After reaching the supreme heavenly venerate realm, they had completely unleashed their potential and reached the fourth-step supreme heavenly venerate realm from the second-step supreme heavenly venerate realm in just over 6 million years. Later on, the 13 newly promoted supreme heavenly venerates had also made some progress in the second step. Even Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had made great progress in the past 6 million years. Their comprehension of the laws of heaven and earth had reached the peak of the ninth step supreme heavenly venerate. Their strength had more than doubled, and they were only one step away from becoming perfected supreme heavenly venerate. There were less than 2 million years until the end of this era. Yi Tianzong had originally thought that he would have to wait until the next era to become a perfected supreme heavenly venerate. However, it seemed that he might become a perfected supreme heavenly venerate before the end of this era. Although Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had been comprehending the laws of heaven and earth in the myriad race's great thousand world, their clones had been collecting myriad origin crystals in the world battlefield in the immortal mansion. More than 6 million years had passed in the myriad race's great thousand world, and more than 60 million years had passed in the world battlefield. The three clones had carefully wandered around the world battlefield and collected more than 20,000 myriad origin crystals. Yi Tianzong and the other two had used less than a third of these myriad origin crystals. By the end of this era, the three of them had a great chance of becoming perfected supreme heavenly venerates with the help of the myriad origin crystals. Although there were chaotic spirits rushing out of the spirit forbidden extremis from time to time, the strength of the human race was still growing. On the other hand, the ancient royal family, Nine Heavens Phoenix clan, and Sky High Celestial clan had suffered heavy losses and their strength had decreased greatly. The alliance formed by the ancient royal family, Nine Heavens Phoenix clan, and Sky High Celestial clan had suffered injuries or even deaths in the face of the attacks of the increasingly powerful chaotic spirit. The number of great emperors and godly monarchs that had died was uncountable. The three races were not races born in the current era like the human race, so it was much more difficult for them to cultivate compared to the human race. As a result, their strength was constantly declining. Now, the alliance of the three races only had 7 intact supreme heavenly venerates left. The number of heavenly venerates had also decreased sharply to 200. It seemed like it would be impossible for them to survive this era's calamity. Now, the heavenly way barrier outside the spirit forbidden extremis was on the verge of collapse under the impact of the destructive aura in the spirit forbidden extremis. The range of the spirit forbidden extremis was also increasing. More and more chaotic spirits emerged from the spirit forbidden extremis, and their strength was also increasing. Even the human race's defensive line was retreating again and again. They did not want to face the destructive aura head-on. Another 1,000,000 years passed, and the spirit forbidden land continued to expand outward. The vast and surging aura of destruction constantly battered the heavenly Tao barrier, and the heavenly Tao barrier that was originally firmly binding the spirit forbidden land was rapidly being destroyed under the impact of the endless aura of destruction, and it began to become riddled with holes. Endless destructive aura seeped out from the gaps of the heavenly way barrier of various sizes. The vast land of hundreds of millions of miles became barren and dead silent. It was like the spirit forbidden extremis had fallen into an endless abyss of despair. Compared to the spirit forbidden extremis of the past, the current spirit forbidden extremis was more than 1,000 times larger. The ancient royal family, Nine Heavens Phoenix clan, and Sky High Celestial clan had all joined the human race as early as 300,000 years ago for the sake of the continuation of their races. When he joined the human race, the three races only had 5 supreme heavenly venerables and over 30 heavenly venerables left because of the battle with the chaos ferocious spirit. The rest of the great emperors, godly kings, and other races were less than 10% left. The human race had never stopped building sky suppression, cosmic realm, and world-shaking fortresses and cities in the past. Most of the materials and resources were poured into building fortresses and cities. Now they had finally built enough fortresses. All the human race had entered the fortresses and cities, and the human race had completed its integration. After the endless infinity creation divine formation was set up, it formed a world of its own. With the power of creation, it evolved the power of the 5 elements and the chaotic power of yin and yang, forming a 10,000-mile thick layer of destruction outside the formation. It was used to counteract the destructive aura in the spirit forbidden extremis and protect the living beings in the formation. This formation was created by Yi Tianzong after comprehending all the mysteries of the formation Tao and the inheritance and combining it with countless other formations over 1,000,000 years. In this way, as long as there was still energy in the fortresses and cities, and there was still energy in the heaven and earth, the human race would be able to survive this tribulation to the greatest extent. After joining the human tribe, the ancient royal family, the Nine Heavens Phoenix tribe, and the Sky High God tribe truly understood the strength and potential of the human tribe. After learning about the heaven and earth toppling ceaseless and infinite creation formation, they truly let go of their worries and gained confidence in overcoming the epic tribulation. Now, all the fortresses and cities of the human race were absorbing the energy in the heaven and earth with all their might. They were constantly storing energy and storing energy crystals that were 10 feet in size for when the time came. Yi Tianzong's clone looked at the spirit forbidden extremis that was still expanding hundreds of thousands of miles away and said to the supreme heavenly venerate and the others beside him, "There are less than 400,000 years left until the end of this epoch. The heavenly ways barrier is already riddled with holes and will disappear in the end. Endless destructive power will sweep across the world. The final battle is not far away." The supreme heavenly venerate looked at the spirit forbidden extremis in the distance and said, "We've already done our best to prepare, haven't we? In the past, I never thought that the human race would become so powerful. Since we're so powerful, we'll definitely survive this tribulation." "Yes, we'll definitely survive it," Yi Tianzong's clone said faintly. There were already 30 supreme chaos ferocious spirits, 1,000 heavenly venerate ferocious spirits, and 6 million emperor-grade chaos ferocious spirits. Even with the human race's current strength and the assistance of the great demon subduing array, they had lost dozens of heavenly venerates and tens of thousands of great emperors before they were finally defeated. At the end of the epoch, the heavenly ways barrier would disappear and the chaos ferocious spirits would erupt. When that happened, the chaos ferocious spirits would definitely surpass the human race's strength. That would be the most difficult time to endure. In addition to the spirit forbidden extremis, the eruptions of chaos ferocious spirits in the demon race's endless demon abyss, the heavenly holy tribe's burial ancient region, and the star spirit tribe's shattered star sea were also becoming more frequent. Perhaps there was a mysterious existence controlling everything. In any case, the chaos ferocious spirits erupting from the endless demon abyss, burial ancient region, and shattered star sea were far more powerful than the chaos ferocious spirits in the spirit forbidden extremis. In the previous eruption of chaos ferocious spirits in the endless demon abyss, there were 120 supreme chaos ferocious spirits and 4,000 heavenly venerate spirit. Given the strength of the demon race over the endless epochs, they only had 160 supreme heavenly venerates and 6,400 heavenly venerate experts. Apart from the demon race, the heavenly holy tribe and the star spirit tribe were facing similar situations as the demon race. Now, the experts of the three races were no longer in the mood to continue scheming against each other. All their energy was focused on preserving the vitality of their races to the greatest extent and surviving this epoch's calamity safely. Time moved forward steadily. More than 300,000 years had passed, and there were only 100 years left before the end of this epoch. At this time, the forbidden spirit extremity, the endless demon abyss, the ancient heaven burial region, and the shattered star sea had already expanded to the extent of trillions of miles. Black pillars of air soared into the sky, connecting the 9 heavens and the yellow springs. Following the sound of glass shattering, the extremely fragile heavenly Tao barrier, which was riddled with holes and covered in cracks, finally turned into dust and disappeared. The moment the heavenly Tao barrier disappeared, the endless destructive power that had accumulated in the 4 forbidden extremis for countless epochs instantly rushed out and swept across the boundless world. The destructive power that covered the sky and the sun destroyed everything in the world. After the monstrous destructive power swept out, the earth became desolate and deathly silent, the sky was bleak, the sea of clouds in the sky disappeared, and everything withered. The final battle has arrived. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu, who were comprehending the laws of heaven and earth, opened their eyes that they had not opened for hundreds of thousands of years. Rays of divine light shot out from their eyes as they walked out of seclusion and into the sky, looking into the depths of the spirit forbidden extremis. Chapter 462. After Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu appeared, Supreme Heavenly Venerate Void, Supreme Heavenly Venerate Xingyang, Supreme Heavenly Venerate Jiu, and 5 other Supreme Heavenly Venerates from the ancient royal family, 9 Heavens Phoenix clan, and Sky Pillar Celestial tribe arrived one after another. In addition to these people, the 3 clones of Yi Tianzong, who were equivalent to 8th-step Supreme Heavenly Venerates, and the clones of Ling Xinyue and Xin Yu, who were equivalent to 7th-step Supreme Heavenly Venerates, also appeared one after another. Together with Yi Tianzong and the other 2, the human race had a total of 55 Supreme Heavenly Venerate. In the past 1,000,000 years, the Supreme Heavenly Venerate Void had reached the 7th-step Supreme Heavenly Venerate realm. Great Heavenly Venerate Xingyang had reached the 6th-step Supreme Heavenly Venerate realm. Yi Haoren, Yi Haoyun, and the others had reached the 5th-step Supreme Heavenly Venerate realm. The remaining Supreme Heavenly Venerates, such as Emperor Jiu, Tai Xian, and Gu Yu, had reached the 4th-step Supreme Heavenly Venerate realm. Apart from the 5 new human race Supreme Heavenly Venerates who had reached the 2nd-step Supreme Heavenly Venerate realm in the past 1,000,000 years, the rest were at least 3rd-step Supreme Heavenly Venerate. Behind these Supreme Heavenly Venerates were more than 1,600 Heavenly Venerate powerhouses, as well as millions of world-shaking and galaxy-grade battle fortresses. More than 90% of the human race's great emperors and godly monarchs were in these fortresses. This time, the destructive power of the spirit forbidden extremis had completely erupted and swept across the myriad races and great thousand world. It wasn't suitable for existences below the heavenly venerate level to continue being exposed to the world. Thus, they could only use their powerful battle fortresses to deal with the chaotic ferocious spirit. Roar! 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 Countless roars filled with the desire to massacre and destroy were heard from the depths of the spirit forbidden extremis. Then, countless tyrannical auras that shook the heavens and earth surged over. In less than a breath's time, Yi Tianzong and the others saw boundless chaotic ferocious spirits surging over like a tidal wave. Leading the way were three beings that looked no different from the human race. However, their bodies were several times larger than the human race's. The three living beings emitted supreme auras that suppressed the firmament and dominated the eternal space-time. They were perfected supreme heavenly venerables. There was such an existence among the chaos ferocious spirits? Behind the three humanoid chaos beasts were 100 supreme empyrean chaos beasts, followed by 3,000 heavenly venerate chaos beasts, and finally 50 million emperor chaos beasts. Everyone, including Yi Tianzong and the other two, had a heavy heart. They hadn't thought that the lineup of chaotic spirits would be so powerful in the final battle. Compared to the current human race, whether it was heavenly venerables, or great emperors, they were all stronger than the human race. However, at this moment there was no way out. There was no other choice. They could only fight to the death and endure the last 100 years. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu's comprehension of the laws of heaven and earth were only one step away from completely advancing to perfected supreme heavenly venerate. However, the three of them couldn't break through the last step no matter how hard they tried. It was as if there was a barrier stopping them. However, the three of them vaguely felt that they could break through, but they needed an opportunity. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu were enlightened when they saw the three great perfections supreme heavenly venerate chaos ferocious spirit. They could only break through if they killed the three chaos ferocious spirit overlord. At the same time, apart from Yi Tianzong and the other two, all the human race's supreme heavenly venerates and heavenly venerates vaguely felt that they would break through to the next realm after killing the chaotic spirits before them. The battle between the human race and the chaotic spirits erupted. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu directly faced the three chaos beasts. The rest of the supreme heavenly venerates and heavenly venerates dealt with the stronger chaotic spirits with the help of the millions of world-shaking war fortresses and cosmic universe war fortresses. After killing you, I will be able to transcend completely and break free from the fate of being a pawn. Hand over your lives. The three chaotic ferocious spirits, who had reached the perfected supreme heavenly venerate level, attacked Yi Tianzong and the other two after speaking to them. Their roars, which could shatter the cosmic universe, formed a sound wave millions of miles wide that swept toward Yi Tianzong and the other two. Humph! You are not qualified to kill me. Yi Tianzong did not care whether the three chaotic spirits were pawns or not. He did not care whether they were attacking the Great Thousand World for other reasons. Since they were enemies, they would not rest until one of them was dead. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu each faced a chaotic spirit and arrived in the vast void. The entire Great Thousand World shook violently when the sacred power of the gods collided with the destructive evil spirit. Hundreds of millions of miles of spatial cracks filled the boundless void above the nine heavens. Apart from the forbidden spirit extremis, the endless demon abyss, the ancient heaven burial region, and the shattered star ocean also erupted at the same time. Boundless destructive power swept across the myriad races' Great Thousand World. The starlight in the sky dimmed, and the sun and moon that illuminated time and space were swallowed by the endless black clouds. The entire myriad race's Great Thousand Worlds lost their light at this moment, becoming dark and cold, as if the end of the world had arrived. The endless destructive power filled the Great Thousand World. All the chaotic spirits that rushed out from the four extremis were like fish in water in such an environment. Their strength and destructive power increased by several times. The entire Great Thousand World became the battlefield of the human race, demon race, heavenly saint tribe, star spirit tribe, and the chaotic spirit. The supreme heavenly venerates, and great emperors of the human race, demon race, heavenly saint tribe, and star spirit tribe engaged in a life-or-death battle with the chaotic spirits in the boundless sky, ground, and void. In addition to Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu, the demon race, heavenly saint tribe, and star spirit tribe also engaged in a great battle with the chaotic spirits of the perfected supreme heavenly venerate level. There were a total of 20 perfected supreme heavenly venerates fighting in the great thousand world. The supreme power that was enough to destroy and reopen heaven and earth shook the great thousand world that had existed since time immemorial. Countless spatial cracks that spanned trillions of miles appeared on the world barrier. The chaotic airflow seeped into the world through the spatial cracks, making the already unstable great thousand world even worse. The battle continued. Although the human race had fewer supreme heavenly venerates and heavenly venerates than the chaotic spirits, there were the avatars of Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu among the supreme heavenly venerates, which were equivalent to 7 supreme heavenly venerates. The strongest one among the chaotic spirits was only equivalent to a 6-step supreme heavenly venerate. There were also millions of world-shaking grade and cosmic grade fortresses that could form the Shifang universal demon subduing array. Therefore, on the whole, the human race and the chaotic spirits were equally matched, with both sides suffering casualties. In addition to the human race, the powerhouses of the demon race, heavenly divine tribe, and star spirit tribe were also in a stalemate with the chaotic spirit. Both sides were basically equally matched, with both sides suffering casualties. However, the chaotic spirits had a slight upper hand in terms of the overall occupation of the great thousand world. If there were no accidents, this war that covered the boundless universe would continue until the end of the last 100 years. When the chaotic beasts retreated, the great thousand worlds of the myriad races would enter the next era. However, this was not an outcome that Yi Tianzong wanted to see. Yi Tianzong did not care about the casualties of the ferocious spirits of chaos, but he would not ignore the casualties of the human tribe. He had spent so much effort and countless precious resources to improve the strength of the human tribe, so that the human tribe could retain the greatest vitality of their race and become the only overlord of the great thousand worlds in the future eras. Then, he would be able to complete the test given by the heavens expanse immortal abode, be promoted to a higher level of disciple, and obtain a better inheritance. Helping the human race become the only overlord of the great thousand world was the test given by the immortal mansion for Yi Tianzong to be promoted to a higher level disciple. If the battle with the chaotic spirits continued for 100 years, it would not be in line with Yi Tianzong's plan. After the battle with the chaotic spirits lasted for 10 years, Yi Tianzong decided to end it quickly. During these 10 years, the human race had suffered a lot of casualties. 6 supreme heavenly venerates and more than 100 heavenly venerates had perished. Due to the self-destruction of the chaotic spirits, tens of thousands of war fortresses had been destroyed, and hundreds of millions of great emperors and divine kings had perished. Such casualties would not damage the vitality of the human race. At the same time, it would allow all the powerhouses of the human race to experience the terror of the chaotic spirits during the epic tribulation. It was time to end the battle. As a result, the tricolored light beam that had once terrified the ancestors of the demon race, Heavenly Saints tribe, and Star Spirit tribe appeared again. The tricolored light beam pierced through the heads and bodies of the 3 perfected supreme heavenly venerates. The chaotic spirits that had been in a stalemate with Yi Tianzong and the other 2 for 10 years were annihilated just like that. As a price, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had used up more than 30% of the various innate yuan crystal mines that Yi Tianzong, Shen Yu, and Shen Yu had collected. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu put away the corpse of the chaotic spirits with a wave of their hand and went to the battlefield of the supreme heavenly venerate. With a series of attacks, they quickly killed the supreme heavenly venerate chaotic spirits with absolute strength. Then, it was the heavenly venerate chaotic spirits' turn. As for the rest of the emperor-level chaotic spirits, Yi Tianzong and the other 2 did not attack. They left them to the other supreme heavenly venerates and heavenly venerates to deal with. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu went to the depths of the spirit lock extremis, as they watched the human race's supreme heavenly venerates and heavenly venerates massacre the emperor-level chaotic spirits wantonly. They followed the direction of the chaotic spirits and came to the deepest part of the spirit lock extremis, where space-time was shattered. This was a vast secret realm where no nomological laws existed, space-time was in chaos, and chaotic airflow was raging. It was at least as vast as a primary-level Great Thousand World. In the deepest part of this secret realm, Yi Tianzong saw a space-time tunnel that was tens of thousands of miles wide. It was maintained by an endless, mysterious, and boundless power that led to the unknown chaotic void. In this tunnel, there was an endless stream of emperor-level chaotic spirits appearing in this secret realm. Yi Tianzong thought for a moment when he sensed the level of power that was above the laws of heaven and earth that maintained the space-time tunnel. Now was not the time to go to another world, so he did not continue to go to the other side of the space-time tunnel. After destroying countless emperor-level chaotic spirits with a palm strike, he retreated from this secret realm with Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu. Chapter 463. After Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu exited the mystic realm in the depths of the forbidden spirit extremis, they did not leave. Instead, they stopped outside the forbidden spirit extremis and watched the endless stream of emperor-level chaos ferocious spirit. The chaos ferocious spirits above the heavenly venerate level had already been dealt with. No matter how many emperor-level chaos ferocious spirits there were, they could not cause much harm to the human race. Yi Tianzong, Shen Yu, and Shen Yu remained vigilant in case more chaos ferocious spirits above the heavenly venerate level emerged. There seemed to be no end to the emperor-level chaos ferocious spirits that emerged from the depths of the forbidden spirit extremis and constantly attacked the human race's defensive line. At the same time, the destructive power that swept across the great thousand world of the myriad races increased and became more turbulent. Only heavenly venerate level experts and above could protect themselves from the endless destructive power. The human race's casualties were greatly reduced due to Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu's quick battles. The battle against the chaos ferocious spirits was also relatively easy. At the same time, due to the activation of the heaven and earth overturning endless infinite creation divine formation, the human race did not suffer any casualties apart from the experts who were fighting the chaos ferocious spirits head-on. Compared to the human race, the demon race, the heavenly divine tribe, and the star spirit tribe were not in a good situation. As their strength was on par with the chaos ferocious spirits, the three major races and the chaos ferocious spirits were locked in a fierce battle. However, as the overlords of the great thousand world of the myriad races for countless eras, the three major races naturally had a deep foundation and strength. Countless war weapons, such as fortresses, warships, heavenly palaces, chariots, and other war weapons that were similar to war fortresses, were all taken out. All kinds of destructive formations and formation discs that could trap and kill enemies were also used. Due to their powerful foundation, the chaos ferocious spirits had to pay a heavy price every time they killed a demon race being. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had been waiting outside the forbidden spirit extremis for 10 years. Apart from some heavenly venerate level chaos ferocious spirits that appeared frequently, the rest were emperor-level chaos ferocious spirit. Only 10 supreme heavenly venerate level chaos ferocious spirits appeared and were killed by the human race supreme heavenly venerate. The perfect supreme heavenly venerate chaos ferocious spirit never appeared again. In the past 10 years, the battle between the ancestors of the demon race, heavenly saints tribe, and star elves tribe and the chaotic ferocious spirits had never stopped. The entire great thousand world had been in turmoil, and the destruction it suffered was getting more and more severe. In fact, they had already discovered that the battle between the human race's supreme beings had ended. However, due to their fear of Yi Tianzong's trio, they did not seek help from Yi Tianzong's group. nor did they lead the battle to the human race's side. On the contrary, they moved further away from the human race's territory. Now, each of them was fighting a perfected supreme heavenly venerate chaos ferocious spirit. They were evenly matched with the chaos ferocious spirit in this world that was filled with destructive power. They would rather fight the chaos ferocious spirit until the end of the era than seek help from the human race. This was because they weren't sure if the three perfected supreme heavenly venerates of the human race would help them or take the opportunity to kill them. Yi Tianzong had actually been considering this question for a long time. The demon race, heavenly saints tribe, and star elves tribe had been around for countless eras. In terms of true strength, they were far more powerful than the human race. His mission was to help the human race become the only overlord of the great thousand world, not the only race. To put it bluntly, the human race was the best at internal strife compared to the other races, especially the demon race, heavenly saints tribe, and star elves tribe. Without an absolute powerhouse to suppress and lead them, the human race would definitely be in a state of disunity. However, in the face of the threat of extinction, the human race did not lack talents who were willing to sacrifice themselves. Countless human race cultivators were willing to sacrifice their lives for the continuation of their race. In all aspects, the human race might be inferior to the demon race, heavenly saints tribe, and star elves tribe in terms of cultivation, but they were more creative than the other three races. Yi Tianzong thought about it carefully for a while before making a decision. He would help the human race become the only overlord of the Great Thousand World, but he would not let the Great Thousand World become the world of the human race. The human race needed enemies to maintain the balance and suppress the internal strife. In Yi Tianzong's plan, the human race would be the emperor, followed by the demon race, heavenly saints tribe, and star elves tribe. It would be best if there were 100 other races below them as marquises, followed by other races of all sizes. In terms of strength, the human race was the only overlord of the Great Thousand World. However, there were still the demon race, heavenly saints tribe, star elves tribe, and 100 other powerful marquis tribes to keep the human race in check. In this way, the human race would have external enemies and things to do. There would not be too much internal strife. However, such a situation would still require a long time and Yi Tianzong to plan it. After making the decision, Yi Tianzong did not pay too much attention to the situation of the demon race, heavenly saints tribe, and star elves tribe. He also did not intend to provide any assistance to them. He let them fight to the death with the chaotic ferocious spirit. This could also consume the strength of the three races and reduce the pressure on the human race in the next era. Time passed year by year. The usually short 100 years felt like an eternity to the people of the demon race, heavenly saints tribe, and star elves tribe. Because they did not have the endless infinite creation divine formation that Yi Tianzong had created like the human race, there were countless living beings of the three races dying every minute and every second because they could not withstand the destructive power. In the Great Thousand World of the Great Thousand World, the power of the Great Way had retreated for unknown reasons. The entire world was filled with endless destructive power. Countless mountains, rivers, spiritual herbs, and blessed lands were gradually destroyed and disappeared from the world under the endless destructive power. 100 years of time, accompanied by endless blood and destruction, finally passed. This era had truly come to an end. The destructive power that surged out from the four lands of extremis gradually stopped. Then, the endless negative energy that filled the boundless world seemed to be attracted by something and gathered in the four lands of extremis. As the endless destructive power shrank, the chaotic ferocious spirits also seemed to be summoned and gradually retreated to the four lands of extremis. The power of the Great Thousand World 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 was once again controlled by the supreme, powerful, and majestic aura that filled every inch of the world. As the unparalleled and vast power of the Great Way took control of the world, the originally barren and dilapidated space-time regained its vitality. High up in the sky, the boundless sea of clouds spread out again. In the 9 heavens, countless space cracks healed, and the chaotic airflow disappeared. On the earth, flowers and trees appeared again, and the endless green color quickly spread out. Countless mountains and rivers appeared one after another, and the vitality of the world was also rising rapidly. The spirit-forbidden land, the endless demon abyss, the ancient heaven burial region, and the shattered star sea, which had expanded to hundreds of millions of miles, shrank back to the size of 1 trillion miles under the suppression of the heavenly Tao. An indestructible energy barrier sealed off the forbidden land. Everything was developing in a good direction. Under the control of the heavenly Tao, the entire boundless space-time was rapidly recovering. The entire greater 1,000 worlds of the myriad races would be brand new in, at most, 1,000,000 years. Everyone knew that a new era had begun. The power of the heavenly Tao traversed through space-time, and the 3,000 laws of heaven and earth manifested. This was the reward that the heavenly Tao gave to all the races that had survived the tribulation of an era. Everyone from the human race, demon race, heavenly saints race, and star spirit race seized this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to comprehend the manifested laws of heaven and earth with all their might. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu felt the opportunity to break through. They also entered seclusion to comprehend the last trace of laws of heaven and earth with all their might so that they could truly become perfect supreme celestial venerables. Chapter 464. At the beginning of the new era, there were only the human race, demon race, heavenly saint race, and star spirit race in the vast universe. Now, there was no fighting among the 4 races. They were all comprehending the laws of heaven and earth with all their might. The 7 patriarchs of the demon race, heavenly saint star, and spirit race were also comprehending the laws of heaven and earth with all their might. However, unlike the others, the 7 of them had already comprehended the laws of heaven and earth that they mainly cultivated to perfection. Now they were comprehending other laws of heaven and earth. There were 2 ways to improve one's strength after reaching the perfected supreme, heavenly venerate level. The first way was to comprehend more laws of heaven and earth to perfection. The second way was to experience the operating principle of the great wide world and condense one's own Tao. Using one's Tao to verify with the supreme great Tao of the heavens, one could undergo the Tao validation tribulation. If one successfully passed the Tao validation tribulation, one could transcend the great wide world and become a celestial demon that was on par with the great wide world. Tian Yuan, Tian Xin, Tian Chen, Xing Hen, Xing Yao, Mo Tian, and Mo Yu were the oldest and had comprehended 5 types of laws of heaven and earth to perfection over a long period of time. Tian Xin had comprehended 4 types of laws of heaven and earth. Tian Chen had only comprehended 2 types, Xing Yao had comprehended 3 types, and Mo Yu had comprehended 3 types. At the beginning of the new era, the heavenly Tao created heaven and earth. The 3,000 laws of heaven and earth manifested and lasted for 3,000 years. Tian Yuan, Tian Xin, Tian Chen, Xing Hen, Xing Yao, Mo Tian, and Mo Yu were also comprehending more laws of heaven and earth to improve their strength. After 1,000 years, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu, who were cultivating with all their might, finally comprehended the last bit of laws of heaven and earth and reached perfection in all the laws of heaven and earth that they mainly cultivated. Yi Tianzong had 108 types of laws of heaven and earth, while Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu each had 27 types of laws of heaven and earth. The process of breaking through to the perfected supreme heavenly venerate level was very simple. There was no earth-shattering commotion. However, the process of breaking through was also earth-shattering. The moment Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu broke through, their bodies underwent earth-shattering changes. A vast power that could encompass all things and create heaven and earth gushed out from the endless unknown void and frantically poured into the bodies of Yi Tianzong and the other two. The moment the supreme Tao body reached perfection, the strength and toughness of his body soared crazily. The supreme Tao Yuan in his body also expanded and condensed at an extremely fast speed. His immortal and indestructible spirit was rapidly transforming into an immortal and indestructible golden color. Heavenly venerate, level venerate, heavenly venerate, heavenly divine, heavenly venerate. The origin of the laws of heaven and earth in their bodies gradually evolved into a long river of laws that spanned across time and space under the nourishment of the endless power of creation. The inner world within their bodies also underwent a miraculous change under the support of the endless power of creation. The 3,000 laws of heaven and earth manifested. In addition to the rapid increase in the origin of the laws of heaven and earth that they mainly cultivated, the other laws of heaven and earth also became more and more mysterious. The origin of heaven and earth was skyrocketing. This was the upgrade of the entire inner world. The inner worlds of Yi Tianzong and the other two could be traced back to the internal space that Wu Xing had opened up when he was in the profound spirit world. However, as Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu continued to comprehend more laws of heaven and earth, the inner worlds within their bodies also gradually transformed into a complete world. Originally, after a long period of cultivation, Yi Tianzong and the other two had invested countless resources and energy. The inner worlds within their bodies had already reached the limit of a minor thousand world. However, at this moment, with the endless energy that could encompass all things and create heaven and earth, the minor thousand world within their bodies transformed into a medium thousand world. The space within the minor thousand world was rapidly expanding and strengthening, the earth became heavier, the sky became higher and more vast, and countless flowers, plants, and trees grew wildly. At the same time, the connate primal crystal mine that the three of them stored in their inner worlds was also rapidly disappearing, becoming nourishment for the upgrade of their inner worlds. After a full 10 years, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu completed all the transformations and became true perfected supreme heavenly venerate. The inner worlds within the three of them had also reached the peak of the elementary medium thousand world. The endless power of creation that had been gushing out from the void had also disappeared. When they opened their eyes, a divine light that pierced the void shot out from their eyes. After experiencing the upgrade, they realized that the perfected Supreme Tao body was 10 times stronger than before. The Supreme Tao Yuan in their bodies was 5 times stronger and its capacity had increased by 5 times. The power of their spiritual souls had also undergone a qualitative change, allowing them to move unhindered between heaven and earth. Their overall strength had increased by at least 30 times. On the other hand, although Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu's strength did not increase as much as Yi Tianzong's, it had also increased by more than 10 times. Now, the three of them had far surpassed the 7 supreme ancestors of the demon race, Heavenly Saint Tribe, and Star Spirit Tribe. If they were to fight again, the three of them could easily seal or even obliterate their enemies. This was the strength that came after comprehending various nomological laws. Before the three of them could rejoice, a brilliant light suddenly flashed in their minds after they completed their transformations, causing their expressions to change drastically. However, after a while, the three of them revealed unconcealable joy on their faces. It turned out that after the three of them had become perfected supreme heavenly venerates, the 9 revolutions mysterious technique and 9 revolutions heavenly origin secret techniques that they had cultivated before becoming supreme heavenly venerates suddenly changed as though they had triggered some activation conditions. Then, the brand new 9 revolutions limitless secret technique appeared in their minds. 9 revolutions limitless, created by the supreme almighties of the myriad heavens and realms. It contains mysterious power and mystery. The only function of cultivating the 9 revolutions limitless secret technique is to increase the speed of the cultivator's comprehension of the nomological laws of heaven and earth. The first revolution can increase one's speed by 2 times, the second revolution by 4 times, the third revolution by 8 times, the fourth revolution by 16 times, and the 9th revolution by 512 times. It can be said to be one of the most mystical secret techniques in the myriad heavens and realms. In the boundless Tao realm, the celestial demon realm was the initial realm. Above the celestial demon realm was the developing Tao, above the developing Tao was the defying calamity, and above the defying calamity was the boundless primordial beginning. Above the nomological laws was the Tao, and the Tao ruled all nomological laws. The advancement from a perfected supreme heavenly venerate to a celestial demon was the process of transforming nomological laws into Tao. The more nomological laws one comprehended, the more difficult it would be to advance to a celestial demon. Correspondingly, one's strength would be stronger after the breakthrough, and the chances of advancing to the Tao Evolver realm would also be higher. It was impossible to break through to the Tao Evolver realm by advancing to a celestial demon with only one type of nomological law. Only by attaining the Tao Evolver realm would one become an almighty expert in the myriad heavens and realms. The myriad heavens and realms were governed by the 3,000 supreme great Taos. The 3,000 nomological laws of heaven and earth corresponded to the 3,000 great Taos. However, the nomological laws of heaven and earth formed the foundation of the world. The 3,000 supreme great Taos traversed the boundless chaos and supported the myriad heavens and realms. Every celestial demon was a type of personal great Tao. Since they had attained Tao, they could only comprehend Tao and could no longer comprehend the nomological laws of heaven and earth. This was the order set by the eternal supreme law that was above the 3,000 supreme great Taos. If a perfected supreme heavenly venerate needed 10 billion years to comprehend a type of nomological law of heaven and earth, then after becoming a celestial demon, it would take at least 10 billion years to comprehend a type of nomological law of heaven and earth. A secret technique that could increase the speed of comprehending the nomological laws of heaven and earth, especially a secret technique like the 9 transformations limitless, would definitely cause everyone in the myriad heavens and realms to go crazy if it was exposed. Even the celestial demons would come to snatch it, hoping to gain some inspiration from it and increase the speed of comprehending the nomological laws of heaven and earth. To a certain extent, time was dispensable, but it was also the most precious. Who would want to spend 100,000 years to do something that could be done in 10,000 years? After calming down from their excited state, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu did not alarm anyone. After scanning the human race with their divine souls, they continued to cultivate. The nomological laws of heaven and earth had 3,000 years to manifest, and only 1,000 years had passed. Taking advantage of this opportunity, they hurriedly comprehended more nomological laws and increased their strength. Chapter 465. 3,000 years was a very short period of time. Under the full control of the Supreme Heavenly Way, the great thousand world of the myriad races, which was originally battered and scarred, took on a new look and regained its vitality. The 3,000 manifested laws of heaven and earth faded away, and everyone also withdrew from the cultivation state of rapid progress. Their hearts were filled with a huge sense of loss and reluctance, but there was nothing they could do. At the beginning of the world, only the human race, demon race, heavenly saint race, and star spirit race coexisted in the world. As for the myriad races, the heavenly way had yet to give birth, so now was the best time to divide the territories. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu, who woke up from their cultivation state, heard the thoughts of the Supreme Heavenly Venerate of the Void, Supreme Heavenly Venerate of the Holy Sun, and the others, and said, "Okay, I got it. I'll discuss it with the patriarchs of the demon race, heavenly saint race, and star spirit race." After hearing Yi Tianzong's words, the supreme heavenly venerates of the human race were relieved. Now Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu were the most powerful in the entire human race. They were so powerful that no one could reach them. Yi Tianzong's contribution to the human race was also the greatest. Therefore, the right to speak in the human race naturally fell to Yi Tianzong, and no one had any objections. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had now become perfected supreme heavenly venerates, and their strength was far above the 7 patriarchs of the demon race, heavenly saint race, and star spirit race. Naturally, they had no scruples. The 3 of them flew directly into the void of the 9 heavens, and then burst forth with their respective perfected supreme heavenly might, which swept across the vast sky and shook the space-time of the past, present, and future. At the same time, a heavenly voice that rippled through the entire boundless universe spread out, "Since the beginning of the new era, come and have a chat. I have something to ask you." His words were natural and domineering. Tian Yuan, Tian Xian, Tian Chen, Mo Tian, Mou, Xinghen, and Xing Yao from Demon Clan, Heavenly Saint Clan, and Star Spirit Clan naturally understood that Yi Tianzong was talking to them after hearing Yi Tianzong's words. However, his condescending attitude made them extremely angry. They didn't want to go, but they were shocked by the boundless aura that erupted from Yi Tianzong and the other 2. They were also perfected supreme heavenly venerates, so they could sense at least 10 types of perfected sky and earth nomological auras from Yi Tianzong and the other 2 even though they were separated by a great distance. The 7 of them pondered for a moment, their faces dark and uncertain. In the end, they took a step forward with gloomy expressions, traversing space to arrive before Yi Tianzong's group. The myriad race's great thousand world was a super great thousand world that suppressed boundless chaos. Its vastness was far beyond the imagination of ordinary cultivators. Within the myriad race's great thousand world, the boundless universe was filled with countless stars. A pinnacle great emperor wouldn't be able to reach the end of the world even if he flew for 10,000 years. Heavenly venerates wouldn't be able to explore the vastness of the world. Only supreme heavenly venerates were qualified to explore the vastness of the world. Experts who had reached the great perfection supreme heavenly venerate and comprehended the complete nomological laws of heaven and earth could transform their bodies into nomological laws and traverse endless spacetime in an instant. They could traverse a distance of billions of miles with just a thought. The 7 of them came before Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu. They couldn't hide their astonishment when they saw the 15 types of perfected sky and earth nomological auras that Yi Tianzong and the other 2 had deliberately revealed. Every single one of them had spent dozens of eras to cultivate to such a level. Even so, the most powerful 3, Tian Yuan, Mo Tian, and Xinghen, had only comprehended 6 types of perfected sky and earth nomological laws. However, they couldn't figure out how the 3 of them had cultivated. They could actually see 15 types of perfected sky and earth nomological laws from their bodies. Was this a joke? Yi Tianzong didn't think too much about the astonishment of the 7 of them. After seeing that everyone was present, he said, "I've called you here for 2 things. The first thing is that since the beginning of the new era, there are only 4 races in the world. Therefore, we need to redivide our territories. Do you have any objections?" Patriarch Tian Yuan said, "We don't have any objections. May I know where you want to go?" Yi Tianzong said, "There's no hurry. I still have something to ask you. Since ancient times, the demon race, heavenly saint tribe, star spirit tribe, and soul-devouring race have been the 4 great races in the myriad races world since ancient times. Why is there no trace of the soul-devouring race even during the calamity of the new era? You should be able to tell me the answer, right?" The patriarchs of the demon race, heavenly saint tribe, and star spirit tribe turned gloomy when they heard that. They didn't say anything for a long time. It seemed like they had thought of something very bad and weren't willing to say it. Yi Tianzong revealed a faint smile and said, I'm not afraid to tell you that when we were fighting outside the primal chaos, the three of us hadn't become perfected supreme heavenly venerates. We only broke through 2,000 years ago when the 3,000 types of worldly laws manifested. Our current strength can't be compared to before. We have comprehended more than 15 types of nomological laws. You have to think carefully about the consequences of continuing to hide it. Yi Tianzong's blatant threat infuriated Tian Yuan, Tian Xian, Tian Chen, Mo Tian, Mou, Xinghen, and Xing Yao. However, they were also shocked by the content of his word. When Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu's auras started to rise, Patriarch Tian Yuan of the Heavenly Saint tribe sighed and said, "Soul-devouring clan, haven't you already experienced it?" Yi Tianzong was stunned when he heard that. He thought for a while and said, "Are you talking about the primal chaos ferocious spirits? Are you trying to scare me? Tell me the cause and effect of the matter. Don't test my patience." Patriarch Tian Yuan suppressed his anger. Then, he seemed to have thought of something and said, "Fine, there's no harm in telling you. The soul-devouring clan is indeed a clan that has existed since the beginning of the world, just like our three races. Although the number of members of the soul-devouring clan is far fewer than our three races, the soul-devouring clan is far more terrifying than our three races. The members of the soul-devouring clan are naturally compatible with the law of the soul. Their speed of comprehending the law of the soul far surpasses that of other clans by 100 or even 1,000 times. They have the innate ability to devour souls and increase their strength without any side effect. Once they reach adulthood, they will become a heavenly venerate. After diligently cultivating, they will become a supreme heavenly venerate. If all goes well, a perfected patriarch who has comprehended 100% of the law of the soul will appear in 2 epochs. The soul-devouring patriarch, the heavenly saint patriarch of our race, the true demon patriarch of the devil tribe, and the star spirit patriarch of the star spirit tribe were the strongest experts in the entire world at that time. Each of them had comprehended more than 8 types of perfected law of heaven and earth. However, the soul-devouring patriarch was very ambitious. He was unwilling to slowly comprehend the law of the soul to increase his strength. He wanted to become the only supreme expert in the entire world and let the soul-devouring clan dominate the entire world. Later on, under the leadership of the soul-devouring patriarch, the soul-devouring clan devised various schemes and caused the entire world to fall into chaos. The soul-devouring clan devoured the souls of countless living beings of the other clans and constantly added new members to increase the strength of the clan. Even our 3 races were not spared. In the end, less than 10% of the living beings of the eternal river in the entire boundless heaven and earth survived. Only a few experts of the other clans survived. Under the leadership of the 3 patriarchs, the experts of the other clans and our 3 races launched a decisive battle against the soul-devouring clan. It was also at that time that the experts of the other clans withered. The patriarchs of our 3 races and the majority of the experts died in that decisive battle. They perished together with the experts of the soul-devouring clan. The vitality of our 3 races was greatly damaged during that decisive battle. All the perfected supreme heavenly venerates and the majority of the supreme heavenly venerates died. The experts of the other clans were also almost wiped out. Otherwise, how could our 3 races only have perfected supreme heavenly venerates after countless epochs? Originally, the soul-devouring clan should have been completely annihilated by the combined forces of the other clans. However, no one had expected that the soul-devouring clan would discover another unknown world after a long period of time and send some of their clansmen to that world. That unknown world was the world where the chaos spirits resided. The endless demon abyss, the ancient sky burial region, the shattered star ocean, and the forbidden spirit impasse did not exist in the world at that time. They only appeared in the myriad race world after the soul-devouring clan drove the endless chaos spirits to make a comeback. It was also at that time that the epic calamity appeared in our world. At the end of every epoch, endless chaos spirits will appear in the myriad race world through the 4 perilous lands from the unknown world. They will then destroy the other clans and harvest the souls of countless living beings. Chapter 466. Patriarch Tian Yuan sighed. According to the records of my race, it has been over 35,000 epochs since the birth of the world. The 4 forbidden grounds have been around for over 12,000 epochs. Although I don't know what happened to our world for the heavenly Tao to retreat at the end of every epoch, it must be the doing of the soul-devouring race. After so many epochs, the number of perfect supreme heavenly venerates that have fallen in our 3 races has exceeded 300. Even I have only been born for 30 epochs. The soul-devouring race has been harvesting the souls of countless beings. Their strength has reached an unbelievable level. After all, the chaotic ferocious spirits are always stronger than the races of our world during every epoch's calamity. The number of perfect supreme chaotic ferocious spirits is the same as the number of perfect supreme chaotic experts in our world. It's like they know us like the back of their hand. That's terrifying. Tian Xin, Tian Chen, Mo Tian, Mou, Xinghen, and Xing Yao fell silent when they heard Patriarch Tian Yuan's words. Clearly, Patriarch Tian Yuan's words had caused their hearts to sink. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu fell silent as well. After a while, Yi Tianzong said, "According to what you said, the soul-devouring race should be unable to return to the world of myriad races due to some unforeseen circumstances. They can only use the chaotic ferocious spirits to harvest souls. However, they'll still make a comeback one day, right?" Patriarch Tian Yuan nodded and said, "That's indeed a possibility." "Good. Since that's the case, you haven't been able to stop the epoch's calamity in the past 10,000 epochs. Instead, your strength has stagnated. Then follow my plan from now on." Yi Tianzong was now certain of his plan. Now that the epoch had just begun, as long as he dealt with the demon race, the heavenly saints race, and the astral spirits race, his plan would be able to proceed smoothly. "What are you trying to do?" The 7 people from the heavenly saints race, the demon race, and the astral spirits race became alert when they heard Yi Tianzong's words. The atmosphere suddenly became tense and heavy. The change in their auras caused the weather to change. Dark clouds filled the sky and cold winds whistled. "What do I want to do?" "Haha, your utilization rate of natural fortune and resources is too low, and your contribution to the world is too little. In that case, your system will have to be abolished. I want to change the order of the world, establish the heavenly court of the myriad races, and divide the 3 realms." Yi Tianzong explained his plan. "Impossible, we don't agree." Although Tian Yuan, Tian Xin, Tian Chen, Mo Tian, Mou, Xinghen, and Xing Yao didn't know the details of Yi Tianzong's plan, the myriad races' sky court knew that it would cause irreversible changes to their positions. Therefore, they immediately expressed their opposition. Yi Tianzong sneered and said, "Humph, objection? Do you think you are qualified to object? With my current strength, I can easily exterminate all of you. Even if you want to die with me, it's impossible. The reason why the 3 of you are still alive is because the human race still needs enemies to produce more experts. As for the few of you, your role is only to stabilize the 3 races. I'm not killing you because I want to leave behind more power for the world. Without you, my plan can still be carried out. It's just that it will take a bit more time. Without you, do you think the 3 races can go against my orders?" With that, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu's majestic aura skyrocketed. Then, they rushed toward the 7 people opposite them. The unparalleled godly aura that could crush time and space fell on them. Tian Yuan, Tian Xin, Tian Chen, Mo Tian, Mou, Xinghen, and Xing Yao finally felt the true strength of Yi Tianzong and the other 2. The godly aura was like hell. In the past, when other supreme empyreans faced them, they only felt a prison of divine might. However, now that they were facing Yi Tianzong's group of three, they also felt what a prison of divine might was. The prison of divine might gave them an understanding that the difference in strength was too great. I will only say this once. This is the beginning of an epoch. I want to establish a supreme heavenly court in the myriad races world and completely restore the prosperity of the past. In the future, the human race will be the emperor, you will be the king, and the 100 strongest will be the marquis. All of you will compete with each other. You will have to agree whether you agree or not. I am only informing you, not negotiating with you. There is no room for negotiation. You can choose not to accept, but the consequence is that I will completely exterminate all of you and choose a new representative from your three races. Remember, I will only give you 15 minutes to consider. Give me your answer then. Agree or disagree? Yi Tianzong said firmly. You are simply Tian Yuan, Tian Xin, Tian Chen, Mo Tian, Mou, Xinghen, and Xing Yao couldn't wait to grind Yi Tianzong's bones into dust. He was too hateful. He relied on his strength to do whatever he wanted. Yi Tianzong was naturally aware of the anger and dissatisfaction of the 7 people from the demon race, Heavenly Saints tribe, and Star Spirit tribe. However, he didn't care. Now that he had invincible strength, why couldn't he act arbitrarily and let the world develop according to his plan? Do whatever he wanted? Be lawless? He knew that in the previous epoch, the demon race, Heavenly Saints tribe, and Star Spirit tribe also relied on their invincible strength to run amok and beat up whoever they wanted. However, this time, they were the weaker side and couldn't accept it. 15 minutes passed very quickly. Under the 7 people's unsightly expressions, Yi Tianzong asked coldly, "Time is up. Now tell me your answer. Agree or disagree?" After that, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu's vast and majestic aura suddenly became fierce and austere. It seemed that as long as the answer didn't suit them, they would immediately take action. Affected by this, the entire boundless void became oppressive. The space froze, and a cold aura filled the world. Demon Ancestor Mo Tian said coldly, "What is your plan? Shouldn't you tell us? If you don't tell us, how will we know if you are deliberately trying to harm our 3 races?" Hearing this, Yi Tianzong thought for a moment and said, "Then listen carefully. I will only say it once. Right now, the world of the myriad races is a whole. I will split the heavens and the earth. I will create the God realm in the sky millions of miles above the earth. I will create the heaven realm in the void of the 9 heavens. After that, the world of the myriad races will form the mortal realm, God realm, and heaven realm. The living beings in the mortal realm are all below the myth realm. After breaking through to the myth realm, they will ascend to the God realm. The great emperors from the 1st heaven to the 8th heaven are all in the God realm. After the great emperors break through to the celestial venerables, they will ascend to the heaven realm. The celestial venerables and supreme celestial venerables are in the heaven realm. The heavenly court rules the 3 realms and is responsible for regulating the yin and yang of heaven and earth. I, Xian, and Xin Yu are the strongest and are the masters of the heavenly court. They are called the Supreme Heavenly Emperor, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor, the Supreme New Moon Heavenly Emperor, the Supreme Heavenly Empress, and the Supreme Heavenly Empress. The strength of the 7 of you is only inferior to the 3 of us. You can be the unparalleled Devil Ancestor Heavenly Venerate Devil. Unparalleled Devil Ancestor Heavenly Venerate Devil You. Unparalleled Saint Ancestor Heavenly Venerate Heavenly Yuan. Unparalleled Saint Ancestor Heavenly Heart. Unparalleled Saint Ancestor Heavenly Dawn. In the Heavenly Court, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor and the Supreme Heavenly Empress are the highest, followed by the Supreme Heavenly Emperor. The Great Zhou Heavenly Emperor is the first, the Great Zhou Prime Emperor is the second, and the Heavenly Emperor is the third. Below the Heavenly Emperor are the Heavenly Gods, righteous gods, and spiritual gods. There is no heavenly court in the mortal realm. The heavenly court in the God realm is the branch and the heaven realm is the center. There is also the order of heaven and earth. The people of the God realm are not allowed to descend to the mortal realm, and the people of the heaven realm are not allowed to interfere with the development of the God realm. The people of the heavenly court have the heavenly court karmic rank and enjoy the worship of the myriad races. The blessing of fate can increase the speed of comprehending the laws of heaven and earth. This is my general plan. I will start implementing the detailed process after 10,000 years. Now that you have finished listening, you should tell me your answer. I will ask you one last time. Do you agree or disagree? The expressions of the 7 people from the demon race, heavenly divine tribe, and star spirit tribe changed. They could see the general intention of Yi Tianzong's plan. Honestly speaking, after it was implemented, regardless of whether it was for the myriad races world or their 3 tribes, the final result would be more benefits than disadvantages. The strength of their tribes would also have a high chance of recovering to their peak state. However, once they agreed, they would be below others. They were not used to being high above others. However, if they did not agree, only death would await them. Finally, under the pressure of Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu's increasingly fierce auras, they agreed. Chapter 467. We agree, but we need time to prepare, Demon Clan's ancestor Mo Tian said. I don't have that much time for you to prepare. After 10,000 years, I'll open up the divine world and heaven realm. You'll have to take action then. Also, the construction of the heavenly court requires endless resources and materials. These will be shared by the 4 clans. After 10,000 years, the 4 clans will officially enter the heavenly court and open up the ascension passage, Yi Tianzong said firmly. All right, we understand, Tian Yuan, Demon Clan's ancestor Xing Hen and the others said through gritted teeth. All right, in that case, we'll take action after 10,000 years. I'll make the decision for the human clan, but I'm not sure if you'll still have the final say for the other clans. Heh, Yi Tianzong said in a strange tone and left with Ling Xinyue and Xinyu. The Demon Clan's ancestor, Heavenly Saint Clan's ancestor, and the Star Spirit Clan's ancestor, remained where they were and returned to their own cultivation places. After returning to the human clan's territory, Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu returned to the immortal mansion to continue comprehending the heaven and earth law. Yi Tianzong was in charge of the matters outside. Yi Tianzong thought for a while and used the power of the complete space law to expand the internal space of the heaven's expanse heavenly palace by 100 times. Then, a majestic voice spread across the entire human clan's territory. All human clans peak great emperors and above, come to the heaven's expanse heavenly palace. Is this Tao Master's voice? Tao Master is summoning us. Oh my God, do we have a chance to go to the heaven's expanse heavenly palace? Tao Master's voice. Did he discuss with the ancestor of the demon clan, Heavenly Saint clan, and Star Spirit clan? It seems like there's a result. Is the human clan's territory going to be expanded? At that moment, all the human clans peak great emperors, heavenly venerables, and supreme heavenly venerables who heard Yi Tianzong's voice, including the ancient royal family, 9 Heavens Phoenix clan, and Sky Mighty Celestial clan who had submitted to the human clan, dropped everything and rushed to the heavens expanse heavenly palace. When all the supreme heavenly venerables, and peak great emperors arrived, there were already more than 1 million people in the heavens expanse heavenly palace. Seeing that everyone was here, Yi Tianzong did not beat around the bush. He told them about his plan, the Demon Clan, the Heavenly Saint Clan, the Star Spirit Clan, and the Soul Devouring Clan. In the end, Yi Tianzong said, at the beginning of the epoch, the myriad races are still being nurtured. This is the best time for us humans to rise. The human clan is not in danger of annihilation, and I'm about to establish a new order of heaven and earth. At that time, the human clan will compete with the demon clan, the heavenly saint clan, the star spirit clan, and even the myriad races. Whether we can stand at the top of the world, become the strongest overlord, and lead the myriad races to fight against the chaotic ferocious spirits will depend on all of you. The supreme heavenly venerables of the void, who was second only to Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu, said excitedly, "The heavenly venerables have established the indestructible foundation of the human clan. They have established the God world and the heaven realm, established the order of the three realms, and allowed the myriad races to compete fairly. This is a magnificent feat that has never been done before." No one could understand the supreme heavenly venerables of the void's excitement and joy, just like how no one could understand the immense pressure he had to bear when he supported the entire human clan alone. Now that the human clan had an indestructible foundation, the heavy pressure on his body dissipated. He was unprecedentedly relaxed and happy. Greetings to the supreme heavenly venerables of the heavenly venerables of the void. We will definitely overcome all obstacles for the human clan. Millions of great emperors and heavenly venerables bowed to Yi Tianzong in unison. Yi Tianzong nodded and said, "In the God world, I want to establish 129,600 domains. In each domain, there will be a heavenly emperor. Under the heavenly emperor, there will be 36 heavenly gods and 4 marshals. Every marshal will lead billions of heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals. The human clan, demon clan, heavenly saint clan, and star spirit clan will each have 10,000 domains as their basic territory. 49,000 domains will be reserved for the myriad races to live in. As for the remaining 40,600 domains, you great emperors will have to compete with the demon clan, heavenly saint clan, and star spirit clan. Every 30 million years, there will be a ranking of the human clan's territories in the God world. Every 300 million years, there will be a grand competition of the myriad races in the God world. In order to deal with the soul-devouring clan in the future, I and the upper echelons of the heaven realm will come up with some measures to allow more experts to appear and increase the strength of the myriad races. In the heaven realm, there will be 360 heavenly venerables and 4,900 heavenly venerables. The human clan, demon clan, heavenly saint clan, and star spirit clan will have to compete with their own method. In 10,000 years, the God world and heaven realm will be established. All of you can go and prepare now. 10,000 years after the establishment of the God world and heaven realm, the heaven realm will be officially in charge of the 3 realms. No one is to violate the heavenly rules. Yes, we will follow your orders. All the great emperors and heavenly venerables of the human clan suppressed their excitement and left the heavens' expanse heavenly palace. Then, they spread the news to the human clan as soon as possible. The 46 supreme heavenly venerables of the human clan all stayed in the heavens' expanse heavenly palace. Supreme heavenly venerate Su Kong, who had reached the 7th step, said, "The demon clan, heavenly saint clan, and star spirit clan have a much stronger foundation and history than the human clan. The number of supreme heavenly venerables and ancient heavenly venerables is several times more than the human clan. If they compete with their own methods, the situation will not be advantageous to the human clan." Yi Tianzong smiled and said, "Let's take it slow. We have all the time in the world. We have paved the way for the future generations. We have endured the most difficult period and created the best environment. We have done everything we can. We have to leave some goals for the future generations to strive for. We will be the pillars of the human clan. As for whether they can overcome some difficulties and become experts of the human clan, it will depend on their luck. We don't have to worry about it. Let's focus on our own strength." Supreme Heavenly Venerate Su Kong laughed self-deprecatingly and said, "Well, it seems like I haven't gotten over it. As long as we don't die, as long as you are still around, the human clan will rise. Let nature take its course." The reason why I asked you to stay this time is because I have decided that when the divine world and the heaven realm are established 10,000 years later, you will be assisting me in stabilizing the divine world and the heaven realm. The establishment of the three realms is very beneficial to the development of the myriad clans world. When the time comes, the heavenly way will also descend and reward those who help in the establishment of the three realms. You might be able to advance further because of this. Don't miss this opportunity. However, danger and opportunity coexist. If you can't withstand the pressure of establishing the divine world and the heaven realm, you will also be severely injured. Think carefully about whether you want to go or not. After 10,000 years, if you are willing to go, gather at the Heaven Palace. I will bring you there. After Yi Tianzong finished speaking, his figure gradually faded and disappeared from the heaven's expanse heavenly palace. After Yi Tianzong left the heaven's expanse heavenly palace, he entered the immortal mansion. Then, he went to the chaos outside the human clan's great thousand world with Ling Xinyue and Xinyu. The immortal mansion was a supreme treasure that Yi Tianzong still couldn't figure out. In the immortal mansion, there were not only the human clan, the demon clan, the celestial clan, the spirit clan, the blood clan, and the other super great thousand worlds. Outside these 10 super great thousand worlds, there was also an endless chaos region. The chaos region was very large, tens of thousands of times larger than the regions occupied by the 10 super great thousand worlds. It was almost no different from the real chaos region. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu came to the chaos region to practice the heaven-splitting, earth-splitting technique. Among the inheritances that Yi Tianzong had obtained from the heaven's expanse immortal abode, there was a powerful heaven-splitting inheritance called the 13 forms of heaven and earth. It was a secret divine ability and also a medium to comprehend the laws of power. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu all cultivated this heaven-splitting inheritance. However, the three of them didn't practice the heaven-splitting, earth-splitting technique before. Therefore, in order to open up the celestial realm and the celestial realm 10,000 years later, Yi Tianzong and the other two came to the chaos region to practice. It was much harder to practice the heaven-splitting, earth-splitting technique in the chaos region than in the myriad races. Opening up the celestial realm and the celestial realm in the myriad races was beneficial to the entire world. The heavenly Tao would also help. However, the heaven-splitting, earth-splitting technique in the chaos region was completely up to oneself. As long as one could open up a heaven-splitting, earth-splitting technique in the myriad races, then opening up the celestial realm and the celestial realm in the myriad races would be stable. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu took out their life-bound swords and stood in the heaven, earth, and human positions. They each drew out sword qi that spanned hundreds of light years according to a specific trajectory, cutting through the boundless chaos region. They practiced the heaven-splitting technique again and again in the chaos region, deepening their understanding of the 13 styles of heaven and earth. Chapter 468. Soon, 100,000 years had passed. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had practiced the genesis of heaven and earth more than 100 times in the chaos in the immortal mansion. Although the genesis of heaven and earth was only on the scale of a primary-level great thousand world each time, the three of them had gained a lot of experience and understanding of the genesis of heaven and earth. Their understanding of the law of power was also increasing rapidly. After recovering their depleted energy, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu adjusted themselves to their peak state before leaving the chaos. They walked out of the immortal mansion and appeared in the heavens expanse heavenly palace in the myriad races world. After Yi Tianzong and the other two appeared, Yi Tianzong sent a voice transmission. 10,000 years have passed. Those who are willing to go can come to the heavens expanse heavenly palace. All the supreme heavenly venerables of the human clan gathered at the heavens expanse heavenly palace. Since everyone is here, let's go. When Yi Tianzong saw all the supreme heavenly venerates of the human race, including the supreme heavenly venerates of the ancient royal family, the Nine Heavens Phoenix clan, and the Sky High Celestial clan, who had submitted to the human race, he took a step into the Nine Heavens void. All the supreme heavenly venerables followed closely behind Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue and Xin Yu. When they arrived at the place where the patriarchs of the Demon Clan, Heavenly Saint Clan, and Star Spirit Clan had met 10,000 years ago, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu unleashed their respective supreme auras, illuminating the myriad races world and letting the 7 supreme heavenly venerables of the Demon Clan, Heavenly Saint Clan, and Star Spirit Clan know that they had arrived. Tian Yuan, Tian Chen, Tian Xian, Mo Tian, Mou, Xing Hen, and Xing Yao saw Yi Tianzong and the others through the layers of spacetime. They then called the supreme heavenly venerables of their respective clans and hurried toward Yi Tianzong and the other 2. The patriarchs of the 3 races did not break their promise to make Yi Tianzong look bad. It was not that they did not want to, but that they could not bear the consequences of doing so. With the arrival of the 3 ancestors, Yi Tianzong looked behind the 7 ancestors and said with a smile, "It seems that you guys are quite decisive. Not bad, those who don't listen should be destroyed." The faces of the 7 old ancestors from the demon race, Heavenly Saint Clan, and Star Spirit Clan sank. If not for the fact that they were no match for Yi Tianzong's group, the 7 of them would have already killed Yi Tianzong. Motherfucker. Every single one of them here is an old monster that has lived for over a dozen eras at least. Where did you get the audacity to evaluate their actions like a senior? However, Yi Tianzong did not provoke them too much. Otherwise, if he embarrassed them in front of so many people, it would not be beneficial to his plan. Since the time has come, let's begin. This time, the opening of the Celestial Realm and Celestial Realm will be led by a perfected Supreme Heavenly Venerate. The Supreme Heavenly Venerates of the various races will assist in stabilizing the realm. This is also beneficial to the realm. Once it's completed, the Heavenly Tao will reward you generously. I hope that you guys can do your best and not hinder me. Let's go. After Yi Tianzong finished speaking, he took the lead and flew millions of miles into the sky above the myriad races world. 10 supreme auras swept through the myriad races and the great Kiliacosm. The boundless heaven and earth shook, and time and space fell silent. The heavenly Tao that was nurturing the myriad races in the heavenly Tao space was also alarmed by the 10 supreme auras. A golden eye of the heavenly Tao that spanned hundreds of millions of miles appeared between heaven and earth. The moment the aloof and emotionless eye of the heavenly Tao appeared, the entire myriad races world fell silent. Time and space within hundreds of millions of miles froze, and an aura that ruled over everything swept across the boundless universe. Apart from Yi Tianzong and the other perfected Supreme Heavenly Venerates, all the other Supreme Heavenly Venerates felt a great fear of losing control over their own lives. They felt like ants facing a Supreme Heavenly God. They could not help but want to kneel down and worship it. Yi Tianzong looked at the emotionless eye of the Heavenly Tao and adjusted his somewhat depressed heart. Then, he said to the eye of the Heavenly Tao, "Supreme Heavenly Tao that rules over everything. The human race is vast and has felt that for countless eras, order has been in chaos and the development of the realm has stagnated. The chaotic ferocious spirits have wreaked havoc and slaughtered countless living beings. Therefore, they want to establish the order of the realm and establish the celestial realm together with the human race, demon race, heavenly saint race, and star spirit race. Those below the myth realm lived on the ground. Those below the myth realm would ascend to the celestial realm, and those below the ancient seeking heavenly venerate would ascend to the celestial realm. They want to establish the supreme heavenly court of the myriad races and govern the mortal realm, celestial realm, and celestial realm. They want to sort out the yin and yang of the realm on behalf of the heavens. They want to create a fair competition environment for the myriad races and restore the realm to the prosperity of the myriad races during the primordial age. I hope that the Heavenly Tao will help us." Yi Tianzong's voice traveled through endless time and space, and was transmitted to the 9 heavens and the entire myriad race's great thousand world. After Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, Shen Yu, Tian Yuan, Tian Xin, Tian Chen, and the other supreme heavenly venerates of the various races spoke one after another. Upon hearing Yi Tianzong and the others' words, the eye of the heavenly Tao turned and seemed to be weighing the pros and cons in its own way. It did not respond to Yi Tianzong and the others immediately. Under the gaze of the eye of the heavenly Tao, it might have been a second, 2 hours, or even a day. In the end, the eye of the heavenly Tao shone brightly with boundless divine light, and a majestic voice resounded in everyone's mind, approved. Upon hearing the eye of the heavenly Tao's response, Yi Tianzong and the others calmed down. Then, Yi Tianzong continued, establishing the divine realm and heaven realm requires endless energy. We still need the supreme heavenly Tao to stabilize the realm after it is established. Approved, the heavenly Tao responded quickly. Perhaps the heavenly Tao also knew that doing so would be very beneficial to the entire realm. Therefore, the eye of the heavenly Tao did not disappear. It just watched Yi Tianzong and the others as it waited for the divine realm and heaven realm to be established. Yi Tianzong said to Tian Yuan, Mo Tian, Patriarch Xinghen, and the others, East, West, North, and South. We will each choose a direction to establish a realm and connect the 4 directions. Let's begin now. After saying that, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu chose the east first. Then, they stood in the positions of heaven, earth, and man skillfully. They each took out their divine swords and began to establish a realm. The other supreme heavenly venerables of the human race had already landed on the ground to prevent being accidentally injured. Yi Tianzong and the other 2 chose the east, Mo Tian and Mo Yu of the demon race chose the west, Tian Yuan, Tian Xin, and Tian Chen of the heavenly saint race chose the north, and Xinghen and Xing Yao of the star spirit race chose the south. In the 4 directions of the east, south, west, and north, as streaks of sword chi or divine ability attacks that spanned hundreds of billions of miles tore through the endless void, 4 realms of different sizes were established. Endless spatial turbulence was wreaking havoc. Earth, fire, water, and wind filled the 4 realms. The violent and chaotic energy destroyed everything. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu, who already had hundreds of experience in establishing realms, had the easiest time. The realms that they established were also the largest and most orderly. The 3 of them transformed into tens of thousands of feet in size and stood in the center of the realms. Streaks of powerful sword chi streaked across the realms in mysterious trajectories, making the realms more distinct and larger. In just a month, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had established a vast realm in the east of the myriad races world, occupying the entire east of the myriad races world. Because of the heavenly Tao of the myriad races world, the entire east world was clearly separated by hundreds of billions of miles. At this time, the 7 ancestors of the devil race, heavenly saints race, and star spirit race were in a fluster. They had never done something as delicate as creating a new realm before, nor did they have the inheritance of heaven splitting. As a result, the realms that they established were a complete mess. Although the realms that they established were not merged due to the help of the heavenly Tao, they could not be compared to Yi Tianzong and the other 2. Move aside, we'll do it. Yi Tianzong couldn't stand it anymore. He pushed aside the 7 people from the devil race, heavenly saint race, and star spirit race. Perhaps the heavenly Tao saw that the other 7 people were not of much use, so it directly helped Yi Tianzong and the other 2 recover their exhausted strength. It urged Yi Tianzong and the other 2 to take action. Right now, the heavenly Tao had to expend an endless amount of energy to stabilize the realms every second. It did not want to drag this out any longer. After that, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu released their clones. Yi Tianzong had 3 clones, while Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu each had 2 clones. all of them had 80% of their original body's strength. They were even stronger than Tian Yuan, Mo Tian, and the other three. The 7 doppelgangers replaced the 7 people from the Demon Clan, the Heavenly Saint Clan, and the Star Spirit Clan. Together with the original bodies of Yi Tianzong and the other 2, they also opened up a vast world in the west, north, and south. After that, Yi Tianzong and the other 2 worked together to open up the east, south, west, and north realms. With the help of the heavenly Tao, the 4 realms merged into a boundless realm. After the realm's main body was formed, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu waved their hands. Countless materials, resources, and blessed lands were all thrown into the evolving realm. Looking at the others who were still in a daze, Yi Tianzong shouted, "What are you waiting for? Hurry up and take action." Hearing Yi Tianzong's voice, everyone recovered from the shock of Yi Tianzong and the other 2 releasing 7 powerful doppelgangers and splitting the sky and earth. After that, all the Supreme Empyreans threw all the resources, materials, and blessed lands they had collected over the years into the new realm. At the same time, the power of the heavenly Tao also gathered countless materials. According to the scene displayed by Yi Tianzong's mind when he communicated with the heavenly Tao, 129,600 regions of different sizes were gradually formed. Beyond the 129,600 regions, a vast and boundless sea region was formed. The new realm, which was the divine realm, finally stabilized after 100 years under the joint efforts of the experts from the human race, devil race, heavenly saints race, star spirit race, and the heavenly Tao. In the divine realm, heaven and earth were distinct and separated by hundreds of billions of miles. High in the sky, there were layers of clouds and seas. Below, the vast 129,600 regions were located at the center of the boundless sea region. Chapter 469. P.S. I actually finished writing before 9 a.m., but after looking at TikTok for a while, I actually forgot to post it. I'm sorry for making everyone wait for so long. The vast and boundless divine world was located millions of miles above the ground. There was also a layer of spatial turbulence that was tens of thousands of miles thick between the divine world and the ground. This was a layer of barrier that was set up by the heavenly Tao. After the divine world was fully formed, Yi Tianzong and the others captured countless lifeless stars and placed them above the sea of clouds in the divine world to decorate the boundless void. Outside the myriad races world, endless chaotic qi was drawn by the heavenly Tao into the newly born divine world. It evolved into everything in the world, constantly deepening the foundation and energy of the divine world, and expanding the boundless sea and vast land. Now you know that I'm not fooling you. If I really want to unify the myriad races world, do you think you can stop me? Yi Tianzong said to the 7 patriarchs of the demon race, Heavenly Saint Tribe, and Star Spirit Tribe. Upon hearing that, Tian Yuan, Tian Xin, Tian Chen, Mo Tian, Mo Yu, Xing Hen, and Xing Yao fell silent this time. There was no anger or dissatisfaction on their faces. It turned out that Yi Tianzong and the other 2's clones were stronger than them. It turned out that they really did not have the ability to perish together with the human race. The divine world has been opened. Next is the heaven realm. I have the support of the heavenly Tao and have recovered all my strength. Now, I'm going to the 9th heaven void to open the heaven realm. Come if you want to see it. After the heaven realm is opened, remember to help stabilize the world. Yi Tianzong did not say much and directly flew to the 9th heaven void. The supreme celestials of the human race followed closely behind Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu and flew to the 9th heaven void. The people of the demon race, Heavenly Saint Tribe, and Star Spirit Tribe also flew to the 9th heaven void under the lead of the 7 patriarchs. Extremely dazzling rays of light erupted from the 9th heaven void. This time, the original bodies and clones of Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu, a total of 10 perfected supreme celestials, executed the 13 forms of splitting heaven and earth, and struck out streaks of sword chi that spanned across the sky and shattered space. In the originally vast ninth heaven void, a world that became bigger and clearer, endless chaotic chi was drawn in by the way of the heavens from beyond the heavens, pouring into this newly opened world. Under the control of the way of the heavens, chaotic chi evolved into yin and yang evolved into the 5 elements, and the 5 elements evolved into all things. Vast expanses of land appeared between heaven and earth, along with mountain ranges, rivers, mines, and blessed lands. 100 years later, as the heaven realm opened by Yi Tianzong and the other two's clones gradually stabilized and stopped expanding, the supreme celestials of the human race and the experts of the demon race, heavenly saint tribe, and star spirit tribe all flew into the heaven realm where the 4 elements were wreaking havoc. Each of them exerted endless mighty power to sort out the energy of the heavens and earth and stabilize the structure of the heaven and earth. After a full 200 years, the entire boundless heaven realm had completely stabilized and formed a complete structure. All that was left was to continuously absorb more energy to strengthen the foundation and origin of the heaven realm, and the heavenly Tao would naturally take the initiative to do these things. The heavenly Tao that rules the world. Now that the divine world and heaven realm have been opened, the heavenly court of all races will be established 10,000 years later. It will be in charge of yin and yang on behalf of the heavens. Please wait for 10,000 years. The human race, demon race, heavenly saint tribe, and star spirit tribe will need time to establish the heavenly court. Yi Tianzong once again transmitted his thoughts to the Eye of Heavenly Tao. Okay. The Eye of Heavenly Tao responded to Yi Tianzong with an affirmative answer. After receiving the Heavenly Tao's response, Yi Tianzong said to the 7 ancestors of the demon race, heavenly saint tribe, and star spirit tribe, I have already asked the Heavenly Tao for instructions. We have 10,000 years to establish the heavenly court. After 10,000 years, the heavenly court will be officially established. It will be in charge of the 3 realms on behalf of the heavens and sort out yin and yang on behalf of the heavens. Do you have any questions? Tian Yuan, Tian Chen, Tian Xin, Mo Tian, Mou, Xinghen, and Xing Yao had no choice but to agree. The divine world and heaven realm had already been opened. They had also put in a lot of effort and spent countless resources. Now that they were about to succeed, how could they give up halfway? If they gave up now, wouldn't they be giving all the credit to the human race? They definitely couldn't do such a loss-making thing. Alright. In that case, this is my detailed plan for the heavenly court. There are also things that you need to do. Take a look at it. Don't say that I'm fooling you. Star Spirit Tribe, stay behind. I have one more thing for you to do. Yi Tianzong threw out 3 jade slips and said to Xinghen and Xing Yao. When the ancestors of the demon race and heavenly saint tribes saw Yi Tianzong asking the people of the Star Spirit Tribe to stay, they were puzzled. However, they didn't stay for too long. At this point, they also believed that the human race wouldn't take this opportunity to exterminate the Star Spirit Tribe. As the oldest Great Perfection Supreme Heavenly Venerate of the Star Spirit Tribe, Xinghen asked Yi Tianzong, "What else do you want?" Yi Tianzong wasn't in a hurry to answer. Instead, he asked, "Your Star Spirit Tribe is a race that was born in the myriad races world. As long as you do things that are beneficial to the development of heaven and earth, you will be rewarded with merits by the heavenly Tao. You should know about this, right?" Ancestor Xinghen looked at Yi Tianzong in surprise. He probably didn't expect Yi Tianzong to know about this. Hence he replied, "You're right. As long as you do things that are beneficial to the development of heaven and earth, you will indeed be rewarded by the heavenly Tao. As for the merits you mentioned, although this term is very new, it is indeed very appropriate. The reason why our Star Spirit Tribe, Demon Race, and Heavenly Saint Tribe can exist for so long is because we have done many things that are beneficial to heaven and earth a long time ago and received rewards from the heavenly Tao. That's why we have such great luck and a strong foundation. However, with the gradual improvement of heaven and earth, there's almost no way to obtain merits. However, this time, your proposal to establish the divine world and celestial realm, establish the heavenly court, rule the three realms, and establish the world order is actually very beneficial to heaven and earth. Once it's completed, the heavenly Tao will definitely reward you with merits. Moreover, it will be great merit. This is also the reason why our three races are fully supporting you. Ancestor Xinghen simply explained the reason why he supported the establishment of the heavenly court. Since Yi Tianzong knew about merits, he would definitely be able to understand the twists and turns involved. Ancestor Xinghen wasn't afraid of letting Yi Tianzong know what they were thinking. This prime has another matter that is of great merit to heaven and earth. However, I will need your star spirit tribe to make a considerable sacrifice. I just don't know if you are willing to do it. After saying that, Yi Tianzong tossed a jade slip to Ancestor Xinghen. Ancestor Xinghen calmly received the jade slip and checked its contents. Suddenly, his face changed drastically. You? How do you have such a method? Ancestor Xingyao, who was beside Ancestor Xinghen, saw that Ancestor Xinghen's expression wasn't right. Hence, he probed the jade slip with his spiritual consciousness to check its content. In the end, he was equally shocked. Chaotic Heavenly Cycle Infinite Star Great Array. 49 chaotic stars, 12,960 heavenly venerate main stars, 1,296 million emperor-level auxiliary stars, and 1,296 trillion stars form a heavenly cycle infinite star great array that covers the world. It can connect to the endless chaos outside the world and absorb an immeasurable amount of chaos chi to transform it into innate vitality. The chaos will exist forever and the world will never be in danger of running out of vitality. As perfected supreme heavenly venerates, they could go against the flow of the river of time and space, trace back to ancient times, and observe the changes in both ancient and modern eras. In the more than 30,000 eras since the birth of the myriad races world, everyone knew that the cultivation environment between heaven and earth was getting worse and worse. Cultivation was also getting more and more difficult. However, with the chaotic heavenly cycle infinite star great array, the cultivation environment of the myriad races world could gradually return to the state when heaven and earth were first created. That was something that all later generations of cultivators yearned for. However, the conditions required to set up such a chaotic heavenly cycle infinite star great array occupied almost half of the living area of the Star Spirit clan. It was simply asking for their lives and digging up their roots. You should be able to understand the importance of this great array to the entire world. It's more important than the division of the three realms and the establishment of the heavenly court. You can consider this matter yourselves and decide whether to implement it or not. Once the array is set up, although the Star Spirit clan will suffer a great loss in a short period of time, in addition to the boundless merit that Heaven Tao will reward you, the Star Spirit clan will receive a steady stream of merit and luck as long as the great array is still in operation. In the long run, this is also an opportunity to rebuild after destruction. It depends on whether you have the courage to do so. However, I spent a lot of effort to come up with this great array. If you decide to do so, the human clan will have to participate. 20% of the merit from setting up this great array belongs to the human clan and 10% belongs to me and the other two supreme sovereigns. You can distribute the remaining 70% among yourselves. This is my condition. You can go back and consider it. I'll give you 300,000 years. Just a reminder, it's best not to let the demon clan and the heavenly divine tribe know about it. After Yi Tianzong finished speaking, he returned to the human clan's territory with Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu and began to prepare for the establishment of the heavenly court. Patriarch Xinghen and Patriarch Xingyao checked the contents of the jade slips again before destroying them. They exchanged glances and noticed the hesitation in each other's eyes. Then, they brought the supreme heavenly venerate of the Star Spirit Clan back to the Star Spirit Clan's territory. Chapter 470. In the blink of an eye, 10,000 years had passed. At the beginning of the epoch, there were only the human race, the demon race, the heavenly saint race, and the Star Spirit race in the entire world. Therefore, the countless heavenly treasures and mineral veins in the world were all for the four races to mine. Under the intense preparations of the four races, the central and branch of the heavenly court in the heavenly realm and heavenly realm were completely established. The corresponding personnel and areas were also divided. In the current three realms, there were no longer any cultivators above the myth realm in the mortal world. In the heavenly realm, the human race, demon race, heavenly saint tribe, and Star Spirit tribe each chose 10,000 areas as their base. After a series of intense battles, they decided to fight for 40,600 areas. The remaining 49,000 areas were temporarily taken over by the heavenly court. When the 10,000 races returned and had sufficient strength, they would be handed over to the 10,000 races to rule. The heavenly Tao is above. Now that the three realms are stable, the heavenly court is officially established. After being elected by the 10,000 races, the human race's vast expanse will be the master of the heavenly court of the 10,000 races. The heavenly emperor will be the supreme vast expanse holy man. The human race's Ling Xinyue will be the supreme new moon holy man. The human race's Shen Yu will be the supreme divine moon holy man. The demon race's Mo Tian will be the supreme demon ancestor Mo Tianzun. The demon race's Mo Yu will be the supreme demon ancestor Mo Yu. The heavenly saint tribe's Tian Yuan will be the supreme saint ancestor Tian Yuan in the heavenly court. The supreme Tao venerables, the heavenly emperor, and the heavenly empress were the highest. The supreme ancestor's karmic rank was second. The heavenly emperor's karmic rank was first. The heavenly emperor's karmic rank was second. The heavenly emperor's karmic rank was third. Below the heavenly emperor's karmic rank were divine gods, righteous gods, and spiritual gods. In the 129,600 domains in the heavenly realm, there were 129,600 heavenly emperors' karmic rank. The boundless ocean was divided into four seas, east, south, west, and north. The four seas' karmic rank was equivalent to the heavenly emperor's karmic rank. The four seas' karmic rank was equivalent to the heavenly emperor's karmic rank. With the heavenly court in the center, there were 36 supreme ancestors, 1,000 heavenly venerables, and 6,000 heavenly venerables. When the myriad races appeared and ascended to the deity world and heaven world, the myriad races would return to their positions. Today we've completed our merit, please enlighten us. Yi Tianzong stood in the Wushang heavenly palace in the heaven realm. His voice spread across the myriad races. The eye of the heaven Tao that stretched for millions of kilometers appeared in the heavens and the earth, and it illuminated time and space. It appeared in the eyes of all living beings in the three dimensions. The huge eye of the heavenly Tao flickered with divine light, illuminating the space and time of the three realms. All the secrets of the three realms were revealed by the eye of the heavenly Tao. In a few breaths of time, the boundless divine light in the eye of heavenly Tao dissipated. Then, boundless golden divine radiance illuminated the space and time. Streaks of 1,000,000 miles of purple chi landed in the invisible fate of the human race, devil race, heavenly saint race, and star spirit race. At this moment, the fate of the four races was rapidly increasing. In the heavenly realm, all the heavenly venerables and supreme heavenly venerables of the four races immediately felt the change in their fate. At the same time, boundless golden divine radiance gathered above everyone's head. The size of the golden auspicious clouds above everyone's head was different. However, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had the most golden auspicious clouds above their heads. It was almost equivalent to the sum of the rest. After all, the three of them had put in the most effort and contributed the most. The golden auspicious clouds poured into everyone's bodies. After the golden auspicious clouds entered their bodies, everyone's divine souls seemed to have jumped out of the world's restrictions. The 3,000 laws of heaven and earth opened up a mysterious veil to them. At this moment, the speed of comprehending the laws of heaven and earth increased by hundreds of times compared to normal. When the golden auspicious clouds were completely consumed, people exited the carefree state of being one with the world one after another. A huge sense of loss and unwillingness filled everyone's hearts. However, when they felt that their progress in a short period of time was actually equivalent to the results of tens of thousands of years of cultivation, everyone's hearts calmed down a little. They looked enviously at the others who were still absorbing the golden auspicious clouds. The patriarchs of the devil race, heavenly saint race, and star spirit race opened their eyes. There was a fiery excitement in their eyes. In just a short period of 2 hours they had made great progress. It was almost equivalent to the results of their cultivation for more than an era. That carefree state really made them addicted. At this moment, Ancestor Xing Hen and Ancestor Xing Yao looked at each other. They had only contributed a small part of the effort to divide the 3 realms and establish the heavenly court. Yet, they were able to make such progress. Once the more important primal chaos cosmic infinite array was completed, what kind of fortune would it be? At that time, they would completely pull away from the devil race and heavenly saint race. Thinking of this, the two of them silently made a decision in their hearts. After the golden auspicious clouds were completely absorbed, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu opened their eyes one after another. At this time, Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu had successfully comprehended 10 types of nomological laws of heaven and earth to the point of 100% perfection under the enormous merit auspicious cloud. They had reached the point of perfection of 37 types of nomological laws of heaven and earth. Because Yi Tianzong had comprehended a lot more nomological laws than the two of them, when Yi Tianzong cultivated with the two of them, he would often impart his comprehension of nomological laws to the two of them. Therefore, many of their nomological laws had also been comprehended to the 7th and 8th step of the Supreme Celestial Venerate. Now that they had the support of the merit golden light, they naturally quickly comprehended them to the point of perfection. In a little more than 2 hours, they had reached the point of perfection of 10 types of nomological laws of heaven and earth, and their strength had increased greatly. Yi Tianzong also took advantage of this opportunity to comprehend 2 types of nomological laws of heaven and earth to the point of perfection. Moreover, the remaining 2,800 types of nomological laws had also made some progress. After everyone had finished absorbing the merit golden light, the eye of Heaven Tao blinked again and runes of Heaven Tao of different colors fell into their hands. After coming into contact with the runes of Heaven Tao, everyone understood that these were the runes of the heavenly court that represented their karmic rank. They were recognized and bestowed by the way of heaven. Refining these runes meant that they could enjoy the fate of all races in the 3 realms gathered by the heavenly court. Except for the way of heaven and the master of the heavenly court, no one had the right to deprive them of their positions in the heavenly court. Thinking of this, everyone was even more afraid and in awe of Yi Tianzong and the other two. After all, as the masters of the heavenly court, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had the power to confer and abolish other people's positions in the heavenly court without going through the way of heaven. After knowing the benefits of the heavenly court, who would not take it lightly? This was simply a large-scale acceleration field for cultivation. It seemed that they had to pay attention to their words and actions in the future. After Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had refined the purple-gold runes of Heaven Tao that represented their identities, their auras suddenly changed greatly. Endless majestic and mighty divine power swept through the mortal realm, divine realm, and heaven realm. They were like the incarnations of the way of heaven, representing the supreme majesty and dominance of the way of heaven. I, the vast expanse, am the master of the supreme heavenly court. I am the supreme vast expanse holy man, the heavenly emperor. From today onwards, the heavenly court will officially oversee the three realms of heaven and earth on behalf of the heavens. It will reward those who are good and punish those who are evil. It will sort out the changes in yin and yang of all living beings. Every race must fulfill their duties and not slack off. If you violate the rules of the heavens, I will be merciless. Greetings to the supreme vast expanse holy man, the supreme vast expanse holy man, the supreme heavenly empress, the supreme heavenly empress, the supreme heavenly empress, the supreme heavenly empress, the supreme heavenly empress. We will remember the rules of the heavens and fulfill our duties. Everyone in the heaven realm and God realm who belonged to the heavenly court bowed towards Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue and Xin Yu. Because Yi Tianzong and the other two represented the supreme heavenly court, they represented the way of heaven. Everyone had no choice but to bow. If they did not bow now, then congratulations, they had already been remembered by the way of heaven, and their good days were over. The heavenly court had appeared, and all the gods had returned to their positions. The scattered fate in the world gradually gathered towards the heavenly court, and the vast and majestic sea of fate churned endlessly. The experts of the human race, demon race, heavenly saint race, and star spirit race all went into seclusion to cultivate. With the support of the fate of the heavenly court, they comprehended the laws of heaven and earth. The entire three realms of heaven and earth also calmed down and quietly developed forward in an orderly manner. However, while the entire three realms were developing quietly, the star spirit race that occupied the endless starry sky of the myriad races world was carrying out an unprecedented large-scale movement. The living beings on the enormous stars were being migrated. Powerful forces crossed the starry sky one after another. Countless members of the star spirit race were migrating under the orders of Xing Hen and Xing Yao. Chapter 471. Fortunately, the star spirit race had survived the epic calamity. More than half of their ordinary living beings had been killed or injured by the endless destructive power released by the shattered star sea. Therefore, the migration was much smoother now. In order to provide a stable cultivation environment for the members of the star spirit race, Xing Yao and Xing Hen went to Yi Tianzong. Emperor, the star spirit race is willing to sacrifice for the myriad races world. We have decided to set up the chaotic heavenly cycle infinite star array. However, the living beings of our race need a place to live. Emperor, please help us. We can give up half of our merit and destiny. Yi Tianzong pondered for a moment and said, "All right. Take out 1/20th of the star origins of the 49 chaotic stars, 12,960 heavenly venerate main stars, and 1.296 billion emperor-grade auxiliary stars. I will communicate with the heavenly Tao and guide the chaotic qi from the outer heavens to condense the corresponding stars with the star origins. This will be enough to make up for most of your losses. After it's done, I can take charge. 50% of the innate vitality converted by the stellar heavenly cycle infinite star array will be directed to the heaven realm, 30% to the divine realm, 10% to the mortal realm, and 10% to the territory of the star spirit race. You can send someone to discuss with the void heavenly venerate about the matters that need to be done next." "All right." Ancestor Xing Hen nodded. For the sake of their race, Xing Hen and Xing Yao of the star spirit race, as well as the experts of the star spirit race, were very diligent. In just 10,000 years, they had sent the star origins of the 49 chaotic stars, 12,960 heavenly venerate main stars, and 1.296 billion emperor-grade auxiliary stars. Yi Tianzong did not decline. He used his authority as a perfected supreme heavenly venerate and the lord of the heavenly court to communicate with the heavenly Tao. He sent the chaotic heavenly cycle infinite star array that he had envisioned to the heavenly Tao. The heavenly Tao, which was originally just communicating with the heavenly Tao, immediately focused all its attention on the chaotic heavenly cycle infinite star array that Yi Tianzong had sent over. The enormous eye of the heavenly Tao once again appeared in the sky. It was vast and boundless, and its merciless aura once again cleansed the universe. What happened? Why did the eye of heavenly Tao appear again? Did something big happen again? The Emperor seems to be communicating with the eye of heavenly Tao. Is the Emperor planning something? Yi Tianzong ignored everyone else's reactions after seeing the eye of heavenly Tao. He told the heavenly Tao about the Star Spirit Clan's sacrifice in order to set up the primal chaos cosmic infinite formation. He also hoped that the heavenly Tao could guide the chaotic chi from beyond the heavens and reform the corresponding stars, leaving space for the Star Spirit Clan so that they could set up the formation with all their strength. Under the temptation of the chaos cosmic infinity formation, the heavenly Tao, which only had its instincts, readily agreed. Apart from the unfathomable human heart, the heavenly Tao was omnipotent in the world of the myriad races. Creating all things was just a piece of cake. Under the vast and boundless power of the heavenly Tao, the chaotic chi from beyond the heavens combined the star origins of the 49 chaotic stars, 12,960 heavenly venerable main stars, and 1,296 million Emperor-level auxiliary stars. In just a few days, the same number of stars were condensed again. After condensing the stars, the heavenly Tao did not forget to urge the primal chaos cosmic infinite formation to be set up quickly. Only then did it disappear. Yi Tianzong said to Xinghen and Xingyao, "All right, the heavenly Tao has compensated you for most of the stars you lost. As for the 1,296 trillion stars, most of them are ordinary stars. There are plenty of them in the entire boundless starry sky. You can find other stars to replace them. However, the heavenly Tao has been paying attention to this matter. The heavenly Tao has already compensated you in advance. If anything happens to you, the heavenly Tao will not spare you. Also, complete this matter as soon as possible. The heavenly Tao is currently nurturing the myriad races. With this formation, the heavenly Tao of the myriad races will save a lot of energy and the myriad races will be able to come into being as soon as possible." "Yes, we understand." Xinghen and Xingyao nodded. The heavenly Tao's big move of reshaping the stars for the Star Spirit race was eventually discovered by the Demon race and the Heavenly Saint clan. However, in the face of the 5 old ancestors of the Demon race and the Heavenly Saint clan, Xinghen and Xingyao were very tight-lipped. They even pushed the matter to Yi Tianzong, saying that they were only following the orders of the Heavenly Emperor. If they were not satisfied, they could question the Heavenly Emperor and not cause trouble. Questioning the Heavenly Emperor? Wasn't that a joke? Ever since they witnessed the true strength of Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu, the 5 old ancestors of the Demon race and the Heavenly Saint clan, Tian Yuan, Mo Tian, and the other 2 old ancestors of the Demon race and the Heavenly Saint clan couldn't wait to get as far away from Yi Tianzong and the other 2 as they were afraid that Yi Tianzong would use this as an excuse to deal with them. How could they look for Yi Tianzong because of something they weren't certain about? Moreover, after meeting him, they had to pinch their noses and salute Yi Tianzong. Tian Yuan, Mo Tian, and the other 2 old ancestors of the Demon race and the Heavenly Saint clan couldn't bring themselves to do so. Because the Heavenly Court had already become the orthodox sect of the myriad races and obtained the recognition of the Heavenly Tao, the fate of the entire world had gathered in the Heavenly Court. Now, the Heavenly Court was controlled by the human race, the Demon race, the Heavenly Saint clan, and the Star Spirit race. Therefore, the 4 races of the mortal realm and the divine realm were nurtured by the enormous fate. Every year, there would be experts from the 4 races ascending from the mortal realm to the divine realm. Then, every 100 years, there would be experts from the divine realm ascending to the heaven realm. While the human race, the Demon race, the Heavenly Saint clan, and the Star Spirit race were developing rapidly and improving rapidly, 300,000 years had passed in a hurry. Under the leadership of Xinghen, Xingyao, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu, the experts of the star spirit race and the human race had finally completed the task of moving all the stars needed to set up the cosmic universe Great Array. All the stars were placed in the positions that Yi Tianzong had marked out, and only the final step was to activate it. The primal chaos cosmic universe Great Array covered the entire starry sky of the myriad races and was incomparably vast and endless. Activating it required an extremely large amount of energy. At that moment, the original bodies of Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu were 1,000,000,000,000 miles apart. They stood in the center of the endless starry sky in the cosmic universe Great Array. Their 7 doppelgangers, Xinghen and Xingyao, a total of 9 people, stood outside Yi Tianzong and the other 2. Everyone was 1,000,000,000,000 miles away from each other, and stood according to the positions of the 9 palaces. Then, the supreme heavenly venerables of the human race and the star spirit race formed the 3rd ring, the heavenly venerables formed the 4th ring, and the great emperors formed the 5th ring. Everyone was on guard, and their auras were constantly rising. Each of them was forming hand seals. Once the designated time was up, they would immediately mobilize all the energy in their bodies to form hand seals at the fastest speed possible. The patriarchs and supreme heavenly venerables of the demon race and the heavenly saint clan were secretly watching the scene in the endless starry sky from afar. They had a premonition that something earth-shattering was about to happen. Just as the designated time was about to arrive, the heavenly Tao, who had been paying attention, also revealed its heavenly Tao eye that was 10 billion miles wide and quietly watched everyone in the starry sky. When the time was up, the original bodies of Yi Tianzong and the other 2, the 7 doppelgangers in the 2nd layer, the 9 people in Star Mark and Star Glory, and everyone in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th layers unleashed all their strength at the same time. Then, they quickly formed hand seals. Primal Chaos Cosmic Universe Great Array, activate! Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu shouted at the same time. Primal Chaos Cosmic Universe Great Array, activate! Primal Chaos Cosmic Universe Great Array, activate! Primal Chaos Cosmic Universe Great Array, activate! 4 earth-shattering roars resounded in succession. Everyone did their best to channel their power to connect with the stars around them. After everyone worked hard and connected with the endless stars in the sky, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu's originally incomparably powerful auras skyrocketed once again. As the ocean-like world's power poured out from the 3 of them, everyone in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th layers of the rings also pushed their own power to the limit, causing the surrounding stars to revolve according to a specific path. The boundless starry sky trembled, and the boundless heavens and earth trembled. The river of time that ran through the past, present, and future boiled. In the entire world of myriad races, stars and suns appeared in the sky, erupting with boundless starlight. The minds of all living beings swayed in shock. Blinding starlight erupted, the tide of time and space surged, and the vast sea of clouds roiled. 49 primal chaos stars, 12,960 heavenly venerable primary stars, 1,296 million emperor-level secondary stars, and 12,960 trillion primal chaos stars. Under the combined efforts of the human race and the majority of the star spirit race's experts, the primal chaos cosmic universe Great Array, which covered the entire universe, slowly began to move according to its trajectory. As the Great Array operated, endless primal chaos chi was attracted from beyond the heavens. Then, after being converted by the countless stars, the primal chaos chi became innate vitality. The innate vitality that was formed became the driving force of the primal chaos cosmic universe Great Array. Along with the production of innate yuan qi, the pressure on the bodies of all the experts operating the cosmic infinite great formation gradually lessened. Then, the entire boundless cosmic infinite great formation started operating faster and faster, producing more and more innate yuan qi, and the pressure on everyone's bodies also lessened. What? That's innate vitality? The 5 perfected supreme heavenly venerables, Tian Yuan, Tian Xin, Tian Chun, Mo Tian, and Mou, stood up in shock and looked at the scene in the endless starry sky in disbelief. The 5 of them never dreamed that the matter that the human race and the star spirit race had been working on for hundreds of thousands of years would turn out to be like this. They knew very well what a starry sky great array that could continuously produce innate vitality meant. It meant that from now on, the entire world of myriad races would no longer be in danger of running out of vitality. It meant that the entire world of myriad races would continue to grow, and the environment of heaven and earth would sooner or later return to its original state. Chapter 472. The super formation that covered the entire starry sky was extremely important to the entire world of myriad races. It was even more important than the division of the 3 realms and the establishment of the heavenly court. Any person or race that participated in it would receive unimaginable rewards from the heavenly Tao. As long as the formation was still in operation, they would continue to receive merits in the future. But what made them unwilling and envious was that they actually didn't have a share in this unprecedented great merit and great fortune from the past and present. They didn't have a share. They didn't have a share. Tian Yuan, Tian Chun, Tian Xin, Mo Tian, and Mou were so jealous and resentful that they were about to destroy the heaven and earth. They couldn't wait to destroy that grand array. However, their remaining reason told them that they couldn't do it. Once they dared to do so, the heavenly Tao would destroy them immediately. However, it was impossible for them to give up just like that. They decided that after this matter was over, they would find Yi Tianzong and demand an explanation. Why didn't he inform them about this matter? They had to be given a satisfactory answer. Just as Tian Yuan, Tian Chun, Tian Xin, Mo Tian, and Mou were cursing Yi Tianzong and the others in their hearts, the chaotic heavenly infinite starry sky formation gradually operated on its own under the continuous supply of innate vitality. When the innate vitality produced by the formation was enough to operate the formation, everyone felt their bodies lighten and were completely freed. Then, they saw the boundless innate vitality permeating the vast starry sky. Yi Tianzong used his identity and authority as the Lord of the Heavenly Court and his control of the core of the cosmic infinite starry sky formation to divide the innate vitality absorbed by the formation into 4 streams. 10% of the innate vitality was sent to the territory of the Star Spirit clan as promised. As for the remaining 90%, 50% was sent to the heavenly realm, 30% to the divine realm, and 10% to the mortal realm. After Yi Tianzong distributed the innate vitality produced by the chaotic heavenly infinite starry sky formation, he lost control of the formation. After seeing the formation operating normally, the entire starry sky formation was taken over by the heavenly Tao. Under the boundless power of the heavenly Tao, the supreme formation that covered the vast starry sky was actively hidden by the heavenly Tao. Moreover, the outer layer of the formation was covered with a layer of heavenly dipper thunder that was millions of miles wide. Each thunderbolt was enough to cause serious damage to a heavenly venerable expert. After hiding the chaotic heavenly infinite starry sky formation, the eye of the heavenly Tao once again looked down at the people led by Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu. Then, endless golden light and auspicious clouds appeared. Everyone was bathed in the light. At this moment, all the laws and principles of the world were displayed before everyone's eyes. Of the heavenly Tao. Everyone wandered in the sea of worldly laws, eagerly comprehending the worldly laws. At the same time, the power within their bodies was constantly increasing under the infusion of the heavenly Tao origin energy. This time, the heavenly Tao could be said to have invested a lot. After 2 days and 2 nights, the endless golden light that illuminated the galaxy gradually disappeared. At this moment, Everyone was both disappointed and pleasantly surprised when they came out of their cultivation state of traveling tens of thousands of miles a day. In just 2 days and 2 nights, the results of their cultivation were huge. Those great emperors had at least broken through a small realm. The peak great emperor's comprehension of the heavenly Tao had directly entered the ranks of heavenly venerables. The power in their bodies had also reached the level of a heavenly venerable. As long as they consolidated, they would have an 80 to 90% chance of overcoming the heavenly venerable lightning tribulation and becoming a heavenly venerable expert. Those celestial venerables also broke through a small realm each, especially the human celestial venerables, because they cultivated the 3 corpses mystic technique passed down by Yi Tianzong. They directly used heavenly merit to sever corpses and rose 2 small realms. Their comprehension of the laws of heaven and earth also improved greatly. Every supreme heavenly venerate expert's cultivation gains were comparable to the results of hundreds of millions of years of cultivation. Supreme Heavenly Venerate Su Kong, Supreme Heavenly Venerate Xingyang, and the others had basically broken through to the 8th and 7th step Supreme Heavenly Venerate. As for Yi Haoren, Yi Haoyun, and the others, they had all broken through to the 7th step Supreme Heavenly Venerate realm. The great emperors, Heavenly Venerates, and Supreme Heavenly Venerates of the Star Astral tribe had also benefited greatly. After this great merit, the strength of the Star Astral tribe had completely recovered to the level before the end of the previous era. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, Shen Yu, Xinghen, and Xing Yao had benefited the most. Yi Tianzong had comprehended 5 types of heavenly and earthly laws to perfection, reaching 115 types of heavenly and earthly laws to perfection. At the same time, Yi Tianzong had comprehended more than 40% of the remaining 2,800 types of heavenly and earthly laws. More than 30 types of heavenly and earthly laws were close to perfection. Because of Yi Tianzong's guidance, Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu once again comprehended 23 types of laws of heaven and earth to perfection, reaching the realm of 60 types of laws of heaven and earth to perfection. They also comprehended more than 30% of the remaining 2,900 types of laws of heaven and earth. As for Ancestor Xinghen, he had comprehended 2 types of heavenly and earthly laws to perfection. Similarly, Ancestor Xing Yao had comprehended 2 types of heavenly and earthly laws to perfection. The 2 of them had reached perfection in 7 and 6 types of heavenly and earthly laws respectively, completely surpassing Tian Yuan and Mo Tian from the Heavenly Saint tribe and the demon race. In addition to this, what made them the happiest was that they could clearly sense that the Star Astral tribe's fortune had more than doubled and was still increasing. This meant that in the future, not only would the Star Astral tribe's powerhouses cultivate faster, but the chances of supreme talents appearing would also increase greatly. It would only be a matter of time before the Star Astral tribe completely regained the prosperity of the primordial era. Yi Tianzong, who had just woken up from his cultivation, was satisfied with his own strength. Just as he was about to speak, he suddenly looked at a supreme heavenly venerate with an unstable aura among the Star Astral tribe. This supreme heavenly venerate was originally a 9th step supreme heavenly venerate. After going through the division of the 3 realms, the establishment of the heavenly court, and the setting up of the endless star universe array, he had finally reached the critical point and was about to break through to become a perfected supreme heavenly venerate. Furthermore, he had comprehended 2 types of heavenly and earthly laws at once, which was even more amazing than Xinghen and Xing Yao, who had only comprehended 1 type of heavenly and earthly law. Following Yi Tianzong's gaze, Xinghen and Xing Yao also discovered the supreme heavenly venerate of the Star Astral tribe, who was in the midst of breaking through. The Star Astral tribe was about to have another perfected supreme heavenly venerate. Xinghen and Xing Yao should have been happy, but they couldn't bring themselves to be happy now. Instead, they were very worried and afraid. Damn it! He didn't even look at the place when he was breaking through. breaking through in front of the powerhouses of the foreign races? Did he have a death wish? Especially in front of the strongest powerhouse of the human race, who was also the master of the heavenly court and the strongest powerhouse of the myriad races. Was he retarded? Once the heavenly emperor decided to kill him, they wouldn't be able to do anything even if they wanted to protect him. The stronger one was, the more terrifying the heavenly emperor and the heavenly empress could be. Xing Hen and Xing Yao, who had improved greatly, could sense the terrifying strength of Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu from the auras emitted by the three of them. In particular, the three of them had 7 clones that were even stronger than them. If Yi Tianzong wanted to make a move, they wouldn't have the strength to resist at all. The originally joyous and friendly atmosphere instantly became awkward and tense. Everyone looked at the supreme heavenly venerate of the star astral tribe, who was in the midst of breaking through. The supreme heavenly venerates of the star astral tribe, who were usually calm and composed, were now clenching their fists so tightly that cold sweat was dripping down their palms. Xing Hen and Xing Yao secretly gritted their teeth and felt a little anxious. In the end, the two of them looked at each other and made up their minds. They said respectfully to Yi Tianzong, "Heavenly Emperor, Xing Yao is an outstanding junior of our star astral tribe. Please." Before Xing Hen could finish, Yi Tianzong smiled casually and said, "There's no need to be nervous. I'm not a jealous person. The fact that a member of your star astral tribe can break through to the complete supreme heavenly venerate stage is his own ability. If the heavenly court wants to rule the world and dominate the universe, it needs more powerhouses. Besides, with his strength, what can 10 more of them do? Take good care of him. Although I don't care about having more complete supreme heavenly venerates, it's another matter whether the demon race and heavenly saint tribe want to see it. I'm going back now. You can do whatever you want." Yi Tianzong waved his hand and turned around to return to Wushang Heavenly Palace with Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu. After Yi Tianzong and the other two left, the human race powerhouses also dispersed and returned to their respective places in the celestial domain and divine world to continue with their own matters. When Yi Tianzong and the other two left, Xing Hen and Xing Yao bowed slightly and said, "Safe journey, Heavenly Emperor." Safe journey, Heavenly Emperor. The supreme heavenly venerates of the star astral tribe, Heavenly Venerate Gu Wen Heavenly Venerate, and the great emperors shouted their gratitude and admiration together, shaking the endless galaxy. "Heavenly Emperor, you're really bold and ambitious. It's a blessing for the myriad races to have such a heavenly emperor. Perhaps a prosperous era where the myriad races coexist and the myriad races live together is no longer a dream." Ancestor Xing Hen exclaimed. "Yes, if it were me, I wouldn't be able to do what he did. Perhaps it's because I don't have the same strength as him." Ancestor Xing Yao said before looking at Supreme Heavenly Venerate Star Splendor, who was breaking through, and muttering to himself, "Count yourself lucky. Otherwise, you would have been in danger." Apart from the great heavenly venerates and above, the rest of the star astral tribe powerhouses had all left. A total of more than 700 great heavenly venerates, supreme heavenly venerates, and Xing Hen and Xing Yao were all protecting supreme heavenly venerate star splendor from the demon race and heavenly saint tribe. Tian Yuan, Tian Xin, Tian Chun, Mo Tian, and Mo Yu all saw supreme heavenly venerate star splendor breaking through. Just as Yi Tianzong had said, the powerhouses of the heavenly saint tribe and the demon race weren't willing to see the star astral tribe grow stronger, especially the demon race. Now, the human race was the strongest, with Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu suppressing everything. The heavenly saint tribe had 3 great heavenly venerates. If star splendor successfully broke through, the star astral tribe would also have 3 great heavenly venerates. As a result, the demon race, which only had 2 great heavenly venerates, would become the weakest among the 4 races. The killing intent in Mo Tian and Mo Yu's hearts had already condensed. Breaking through to the great heavenly venerate realm wasn't something that could be done in a short period of time. Mo Tian and Mo Yu immediately found Tian Yuan, Tian Xian, and Tian Chun of the Heavenly Saint tribe and discussed with them that they would seek an explanation from the Heaven's Expanse Emperor. Tian Yuan, Tian Xian, and Tian Chun all agreed. As for Mo Tian and Mo Yu's suggestion to stop the Star Astral Tribe's powerhouse from breaking through to the great Heavenly Venerate realm, the crafty Tian Yuan, Tian Xian, and Tian Chun didn't agree, but they didn't reject either. Their attitudes were a little ambiguous. Chapter 473. Emperor, why didn't you inform us before you set up the galaxy array? Are you trying to exclude us from the demon race and the Heavenly Saint tribe? Patriarch Devil Sky questioned Yi Tianzong. Yi Tianzong naturally knew that the 5 people from the demon race and the Heavenly Saint tribe were questioning him because they were upset. However, Yi Tianzong wouldn't indulge them. Are you questioning this emperor? Yi Tianzong's face sank. It was as if he had become the heavenly Tao. His body was boundless, and the heavenly might that looked down on all living things in the world poured down on the 5 people from the demon race and Heavenly Saint tribe. Yi Tianzong paid special attention to the demonic sky ancestor who had questioned him. Tian Yuan, Tian Xian, Tian Chun, Mo Tian, and Mo Yu were greatly shaken by the suppression of Yi Tianzong's supreme might. They felt that Yi Tianzong's strength had become even more unfathomable. Although they were all great perfection supreme heavenly venerates, it was obvious that Yi Tianzong had comprehended more nomological laws than them. The difference between their strengths was getting bigger. Facing Yi Tianzong's aura, the 5 of them felt as though they were facing the heavenly Tao, especially Patriarch Devil Sky and Patriarch Mo Yu. They felt suffocated by Yi Tianzong's supreme aura. It was very difficult for them to even speak. Patriarch Tian Yuan, who was the oldest, quickly said, "Emperor, you've misunderstood. That's not what Mo Tian meant. He just didn't pay attention and didn't express himself clearly. What he meant was that our 2 races didn't do anything wrong in the past. That's why he didn't ask us to contribute to such an important matter like setting up the galaxy array." As expected of an old fart who had lived for dozens of epochs. He knew when to yield and when to stand tall. He knew how to judge the situation better than the people from the demon race. Yi Tianzong removed the pressure he exerted upon hearing that. The entire Wushang Heaven Palace was instantly very relaxed. Only this time. There won't be a next time. If you have something to discuss with me, you can discuss it with me. However, if you want to denounce me, you should first see if you have enough strength. Otherwise, I don't mind removing some unstable factors. Yi Tianzong said in an indifferent tone. Tian Yuan, Tian Xian, Tian Chun, Mo Tian, and Mo Yu, who still had lingering fears, were shocked by Yi Tianzong's words. The primal chaos heavenly cosmic limitless great formation uses countless stars as its foundation and spreads throughout the universe. It could absorb the chaos chi from beyond the heavens and convert it into innate essence chi. The chaos chi was boundless, and eternal. In this way, the myriad races world would no longer be in danger of running out of vitality. The Queen of Heaven and I spent millions of years to create this formation. In order to set up this formation, the star spirit race had to give up 49 chaos stars, 12,960 heavenly venerable primary stars, 196 million emperor-level secondary stars, and 196 trillion primary stars. Do the devil race and the heavenly saint race have any irreplaceable role in this matter? The human race and the star spirit race can gather enough manpower to activate the formation. The primal chaos heavenly cosmic limitless great formation was thought up by the Queen of Heaven and I, and the star spirit race had to make a huge sacrifice to set up the formation. It took them hundreds of thousands of years to complete it. Without any irreplaceable role, you want to participate? Tell me on what basis? Yi Tianzong looked at Tian Yuan, Tian Xian, Tian Chun, Mo Tian, and Mou indifferently and emotionlessly. His emotionless gaze was like the eye of the heavenly Tao, making Tian Yuan and the others' scalps tingle. If you have the time, think about the meaning of your race's existence. From the beginning of the universe until now, how much contribution have you made to the development of the universe? What is the meaning of the heavenly Tao giving birth to your race? Isn't it for you to fight and scheme all day long? If you want your race to exist, you have to understand the meaning of your race's birth. There is boundless chaos outside the universe. Anything can happen in the future. With your little strength, all you know is to fight among yourselves. You may leave. Remember, you can improve your strength, but don't cause any trouble for me. Otherwise, there are many people behind you waiting to ascend. Thank you for your guidance, Heavenly Emperor. We have learned our lesson. Patriarch Tian Yuan looked at Yi Tianzong thoughtfully, then cupped his fists and left with Tian Xin and Tian Chen. Patriarch Mo Tian and Patriarch Mo Yu didn't continue to stay. Although they were unwilling, they also left the Wushang Heavenly Palace with the three from the Heavenly Saint race. It was unknown if Yi Tianzong's words had an effect, but in the next 300 years, the Star Spirit race's Star Splendor Supreme Heavenly Venerate broke through very smoothly. It was so smooth that it surprised the experts of the Star Spirit race. The experts of the Devil race and Heavenly Saint race didn't come to disturb and cause trouble. Regardless, it was a good thing. The Star Spirit race had another perfected Star Splendor Supreme Heavenly Venerate. After becoming a perfected Supreme Heavenly Venerate, Star Splendor came to the Wushang Heavenly Palace to visit Yi Tianzong after a discussion with Xing Hen and Xing Yao. Then, Yi Tianzong conferred him the title of Supreme Celestial Ancestor Star Splendor Supreme Celestial. The structure of the myriad races world regained its peace. With the continuous innate vitality produced by the chaotic heavenly cycle infinite star great array, the cultivation environment of the entire myriad races world improved sharply. Cultivation became easier and the foundation of cultivation became firmer. The human race, demon race, star spirit race, and heavenly saint race were all cultivating diligently. 100 years passed, and in the blink of an eye, 7 million years had passed. On this day, the entire myriad races world suddenly shook as the eye of heavenly Tao appeared once again. The eye of the heavenly Tao, which seemed to have occupied the entire firmament and universe, appeared above everyone. Everyone in the mortal realm, divine realm, and heaven realm could feel the emotionless, impartial, and selfless supreme heavenly might. Then, the sky was filled with auspicious signs, flowing lights and vibrant colors, and purple clouds covered the sky. Heavenly music was played between heaven and earth. Streaks of dazzling mysterious light of creation shot out from the eye of heavenly Tao, penetrating the endless space-time distance and landing on the vast land of the mortal world in an instant. All the experts above the great Emperor realm could feel the rich life energy and aura from the streaks of mysterious light of creation. Countless streaks of mysterious light of creation fell on the land like a rain of light, forming a cocoon-like shape that enveloped life. After the cocoons were broken, different forms of life emerged. There were a total of 129,600 different forms of life, and the initial members of each race were 96 million. Was this the myriad races world nurtured by the heavenly Tao? The experts of the human demon race, heavenly saint race, and star spirit race could feel a flourishing fortune from these new races that did not have any strength. This was a gift from the heavenly Tao to the new races. From this situation, it was enough to see how important the chaotic celestial infinitum formation was to the heavenly Tao. In the past, at the beginning of each epoch, the heavenly Tao had to expend endless energy to nurture the races, and also constantly absorb the chaotic qi from beyond the heavens and convert it into the yuan qi of heaven and earth for the countless cultivators in the world to cultivate. Moreover, this matter involved a large portion of the heavenly Tao's energy. Therefore, the races nurtured by the heavenly Tao in the past all had different strengths and weaknesses, early and late, and the number of members of each race also varied. The earlier they appeared, the stronger their talent, the more number they had, and the greater their potential. Just like the human race that was born in the last epoch, the heavenly Tao had only nurtured them in the middle and late epochs after more than 5 billion years. If it were not for the appearance of Yi Tianzong, the human race would definitely not have survived the calamity of the last epoch. But now, with the chaotic celestial infinitum formation, they could constantly produce innate yuan qi from afar. Not only did the heavenly Tao no longer need to expend energy to nurture countless cultivators, but it could also constantly increase the power of the heavenly Tao's origin. Therefore, the majority of its energy was spent on nurturing the races. In less than 10 million years, the heavenly axiom had already nurtured the myriad races and released them all at once. Moreover, the number of members and potential of each race was about the same. It was very balanced. Whether or not they could create more glory and future in the future depended on each race. In fact, all the races that were born now should thank Yi Tianzong and the others. If it were not for Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu's powerful deterrence of the demon race, the heavenly saints race, and the star spirit race, leading the human race and the three races to divide the three realms, establishing the heavenly court, and setting up the chaotic celestial infinitum formation, the races would not have been blessed by the heavens. It could be said that the newly born myriad races were completely enjoying the fruits of Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu's hard work leading the human race's experts. Otherwise, the demon race, the heavenly saints race, and the star spirit race would have harvested the fruits of fate the moment they were born. Chapter 474. Right after the heaven Tao gave birth to the myriad of races, a strand of supreme and terrifying might of the heavens that covered the ages erupted, and an extremely powerful aura of energy swept through the starry space and cleansed the myriad of races. The eye of the heavenly Tao, which had yet to be hidden, was also attracted by Yi Tianzong's actions. It looked at Yi Tianzong, who was standing in the center of the heaven realm. At this moment, not only the eye of the heavenly Tao, but also the myriad races that had just been born in the mortal world, the human race, the demon race, the heavenly saint race, and the star spirit race in the God realm and the heaven realm, were all looking at Yi Tianzong. The heavenly Tao bears witness. I, the master of the heavenly court, the supreme boundless holy man, felt that in the past eras, the development of the myriad races' civilizations was slow and the world's development was sluggish. Therefore, I went against the flow of time and observed the evolution of civilization. After studying for millions of years, I created the three languages of heaven, God, and mortal to record the principles of heaven and earth and accelerate the evolution of civilizations. The mortal language has 10,800 words and can be used by the myriad races in the mortal world. The God language has 3,600 words and can be used by the God realm. The astronomy language has 360 words and can be used by the heaven realm. After Yi Tianzong finished speaking, he stretched out his hand and started writing. The mortal world had 10,800 words and the handwriting was bronze. The God realm had 3,600 words and the handwriting was silver. The heaven realm had 360 words and the handwriting was dazzling gold. When Yi Tianzong was writing the words of the mortal world, God realm, and heaven realm, the entire myriad races world was filled with auspicious clouds. Dragons roared and phoenixes cried. The sky was filled with colorful light rain. The experts of the human race, the demon race, the heavenly saint race, and the star spirit race knew that what Yi Tianzong was doing was a major event that would affect the entire spacetime. Every time Yi Tianzong finished writing a word, the meaning and appearance of the word would be deeply imprinted in the minds of the myriad races. The myriad races that had just been born without any cultivation also instantly understood the meaning of the words under the influence of the heavenly Tao. After Yi Tianzong finished writing the words of the mortal realm, Every creature in the mortal realm understood the meaning of the words of the mortal realm. This was the universal language of the entire mortal realm. It did not affect the civilization carriers of each race, and it could also be used to communicate with other races. After Yi Tianzong finished writing the words of the God realm, the people of the God realm understood the meaning of the words of the mortal realm and the words of the God realm. After Yi Tianzong finished writing astronomy, the experts in the heaven realm mastered the mortal language, divine language, and astronomy. In the future, those who ascended from the mortal world to the divine world would automatically grasp the mysteries of the divine text. Those who ascended from the divine world to the heavenly realm would automatically grasp the mysteries of astronomy. After Yi Tianzong finished writing the words of the mortal realm, God realm, and heaven realm, he once again said, "Today, the myriad races will be reborn. This emperor decrees that the mortal race, the demon race, the heavenly saint race, and the star spirit race are not to take the initiative to bully the myriad races for 100,000 years. This will allow the myriad races to have room to grow. Those who violate this will be struck by lightning." After Yi Tianzong finished speaking, an immeasurable amount of golden light and purple qi shot out from the huge eye of the heavenly Tao and landed on Yi Tianzong's body. These were the two forms of the heavenly Tao's power. Under the envious gazes of the experts of the human race, the demon race, the heavenly saint race, and the star spirit race, Yi Tianzong closed his eyes and used the immeasurable amount of golden light and purple qi to cultivate. Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu appeared on both sides of Yi Tianzong, protecting Yi Tianzong. After 1 day and 1 night, Yi Tianzong completely absorbed the purple qi and golden light around his body. The results of his cultivation were also gratifying. Another 3 types of laws of heaven and earth had been comprehended to perfection. At the same time, the other laws of heaven and earth had also improved to varying degrees. In addition to the improvement in his comprehension of the laws of heaven and earth, Yi Tianzong also discovered that his control over the myriad races had become even more proficient. The destiny on his body had become even stronger, and his authority as the master of the heavenly court had also expanded. With a thought, Yi Tianzong understood. It seemed that his successive big moves had been extremely helpful to the entire world, causing the heavenly Tao to rely on him even more. Therefore, his authority had increased. Thinking of this, Yi Tianzong couldn't help but be moved. If he built a 3-realm Skynet like the profound spirit world, and even created the underworld and the 6 paths of reincarnation, then wouldn't his authority be even greater? Yi Tianzong thought about it and decided to postpone this matter for the time being. In any case, at his current level, authority or not authority was not of much use to him. It was better to cultivate peacefully. He could continue to build the 3-realm Skynet, and he could also make preparations for the underworld and the 6 paths of reincarnation. However, this matter was not urgent at all. He could wait until the myriad races had completely grown up. Time passed year by year. To the existences of the heavenly realm and the divine realm, 100,000 years was nothing, especially to the great emperors, celestial venerables, and supreme celestial venerables. 100,000 years was not even enough for them to cultivate in seclusion once. However, in the 100,000 years in the mortal realm, the myriad races flourished and erupted into a brilliant era of civilization. The Lingyun race, the heavenly horse race, the Xianwei race, the purple spirit race, the elf race, the flower demon race, the horned beast race, the dwarf race, the great bear race, the ape race, the true dragon race, the heavenly snake race, the golden condor race, because of Yi Tianzong's decree, without the interference of the human race, the demon race, the heavenly saint race, and the star spirit race, the new myriad races developed freely. The number of members of each race increased exponentially. In the process of communication between the myriad races, the cultivation system of each race was also born. After the experts of the myriad races cultivated to the peak of the mortal realm and ascended to the divine realm, the myriad races began to take the initiative to contact the human race, the demon race, the heavenly saint race, and the star spirit race. They wanted to obtain more information from the four races, as well as the mysteries of the heaven and earth. Since the myriad races took the initiative to contact the myriad races, Yi Tianzong's previous decree was invalid. Therefore, the human race, the demon race, the heavenly saint race, and the star spirit race began to formally contact the myriad races. From the human race, the heavenly saint race, and the star spirit race, the myriad races learned about the common cultivation system of the three realms, the origins of the mortal realm, the divine realm, and the heaven realm, the establishment of the heavenly court of the myriad races, the structure of the world in the previous epoch, the epic calamity at the end of the epoch, and other important information. From the communication with the human race, the heavenly saint race, and the star spirit race, the myriad races learned how lucky they were to be born in this epoch. It turned out that the world in the previous epoch was so cruel. It turned out that they enjoyed the fruits of the hard work of the master of the heavenly court and the experts of the human race. It turned out that the reason they could grow up stably and freely was because the supreme master of the heavenly court had given them the time and environment to grow up. Of course, the cause and effect of these matters were all secretly instructed by Yi Tianzong to let the experts and sects of the human race spread the information. For this reason, the experts of the human race even compiled a book of the epoch and let the human race in the mortal realm spread it wantonly. After understanding all kinds of secret information, the myriad races were full of gratitude to the master of the heavenly court. The human race had a better impression of him than the heavenly saint race, the star spirit race, and the demon race. Especially the demon race. The demon race represented the slaughter and evil of the myriad races. How was it possible for them to communicate with the myriad races peacefully? Therefore, the tyrannical and cruel image of the demon race was engraved in the minds of the myriad races in the mortal realm in just a few hundred years. The myriad races were afraid to avoid them. However, the nature of the demon race was like that. They didn't care about the myriad races' attitude towards them and continued to do as they pleased. The world was moving forward and time was passing by. In a flash, millions of years had passed. In the mortal world, the footprints of the myriad races had already spread to every place outside of the four great danger zones. In the divine world, those myriad races that had ascended one after another were constantly growing in strength. Many experts of various races had also joined the heavenly court. Through accumulating contributions, they gradually had their own territories. In the heaven realm, until now, no myriad races creature had reached the celestial master realm and ascended to the heaven realm. For hundreds of thousands of years, only the human race, the demon race, the heavenly saint race, and the star spirit race continued to ascend from the divine realm to the heaven realm. Chapter 475. In the great thousand worlds of the myriad races, there was the existence of the heavenly court and the order set up. This made the competition between the myriad races more orderly, and there would not be situations where the myriad races would be wiped out easily. The development of the myriad races in the mortal realm became more and more prosperous. All kinds of unique races and civilizations bloomed together. At the same time, the corresponding heavenly emperor of each of the 129,600 domains in the divine realm also gradually became complete over the long period of time. Every day, the myriad races of the divine realm would fight for more resources and territories. Every 30 million years, there would be a competition between the 129,600 domains. Based on the ranking, the winner would be rewarded. At the same time, at the behest of Yi Tianzong, the heavenly court also held a battle for the title of the strongest emperor every 500,000 years. Every time, there would be one venerable, 8 emperors, 64 lords, and 356 marquises, a total of 429 spots for the title of the strongest emperor. And the winner would be rewarded with the heavenly court's supreme pill and various resources and treasures. As time passed, the great emperors of the myriad races gradually advanced to the celestial venerable realm and then ascended to the heaven realm. There were more and more empyreans among the myriad races, and the strongest had already reached the grand empyrean realm. Yi Tianzong had deliberately created a relatively stable environment for all living beings, and they gradually grew up. As time passed, not only did the strength of the myriad races increase rapidly, but the strength of the human race, demon race, heavenly saint race, and star spirit race, which were originally giants, also increased rapidly. After 400 million years of the new era, the demon race finally gave birth to another peak supreme heavenly venerate, sovereign dark feather, which made up for the gap between them and the heavenly saint race and the star spirit race. And sovereign dark feather also joined the heavenly court, becoming the supreme demon ancestor sovereign dark feather under the heavenly court. At the same time, after 400 million years of development, the number of celestial venerables in the demon race had increased by 10%, reaching more than 6,700, and the number of supreme celestial venerables had reached 200. In the heavenly saint race, although the number of peak supreme celestial venerables did not increase, the number of supreme celestial venerables had also exceeded 200, and their strength had also increased to different degrees. The number of ancient seeking heavenly venerables had exceeded 6,800. The speed of growth of the star spirit race was faster than that of the demon race and heavenly saint race. Because of the chaotic heavenly universe infinite star formation, the star spirit race was constantly increasing merit and luck. The number of supreme celestial heavenly venerables of the star spirit race had reached 240 supreme celestial venerables, and ancient heavenly venerables of heavenly venerables had reached heavenly venerables. Star spirit race, celestial supreme, celestial supreme, celestial supreme, heavenly court. The human race, heavenly court experts, heavenly court. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu were the heavenly emperor and empress of the myriad races' heavenly court. They were also Dao masters of the human race. In addition, they had participated in various great opportunities and great merit. The merit and luck of the three of them had surpassed that of any other race. Over hundreds of millions of years, with the assistance of countless merit and luck, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had successfully cultivated the 9 revolutions infinite secret technique to the 3rd level. Their speed of comprehending nomological laws was 8 times faster than before. Yi Tianzong had increased the number of nomological laws he had comprehended to 122 types of nomological laws, while Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu had comprehended to 70 types of nomological laws. Moreover, the 3 of them had improved their comprehension of the remaining 2,000 types of nomological laws of heaven and earth to varying degrees. Every time they comprehended a nomological law to perfection, the difficulty of comprehending other nomological laws would double. Therefore, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had been controlling the number of nomological laws they comprehended to perfection over the years. They tried their best to comprehend the remaining nomological laws of heaven and earth to above 99% but below 100%. In this way, if they encountered any situation, they could comprehend more nomological laws to perfection in a short period of time and improve their strength. They could also avoid increasing the difficulty of comprehending other nomological laws due to the number of nomological laws they comprehended to perfection. Apart from Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu, the number of supreme heavenly venerates in the human race had increased from 40 to 120 at the beginning of the epoch. The supreme heavenly venerate void had also improved rapidly over the years and had reached the peak of the 8th step supreme heavenly venerate. It was very likely that he would become a perfected supreme heavenly venerate in this epoch. Supreme Heavenly Venerate Xingyang followed closely behind and reached the 7th step Supreme Heavenly Venerate. The most shocking ones were Yi Haoren, Yi Haoyun, Yi Yuanshan, and Su Mingxin. Perhaps it was because of their strong foundation or because they had received the blessings of Yi Tianzong and the other two, the 10 of them had reached the same level as the supreme heavenly venerate void one after another in the course of hundreds of millions of years. Based on their progress, it was very likely that they would break through to the 9th step supreme heavenly venerate void first. As for Tai Xian, Gu Yu, Wan Lei, Li Tsang, Yuan Su, Yu Chun, Emperor Jiu, and the others, they had also reached the 5th step or 6th step supreme heavenly venerate realm under the immense providence of the human race. Apart from the supreme heavenly venerates, the number of ancient heavenly venerates in the human race had also reached 3,600, which was more than half of the total number of ancient heavenly venerates in the demon race, Heavenly Saint Tribe, and Star Spirit Tribe. With Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu holding the fort, the human race would be able to catch up with the strength of the demon race, Heavenly Saint Tribe, and Star Spirit Tribe in this epoch. In the eyes of the celestial realm experts, time was measured in tens of thousands of years. Under the rule of the increasingly powerful heavenly court, the beings of the 3 realms of the myriad race world were competing to show off their individual and race's splendor. Every epoch was 96 billion years. This was the era of the heavenly court, and the beings of the myriad race also named it the heavenly court epoch. Now that the heavenly court epoch had reached the 1 billion year stage, the development of the myriad race had reached a peak. With the existence of the chaotic heavenly cycle infinite star formation, the myriad race great thousand world had endless connate vitality. Therefore, the moment the myriad race world was born, it entered a process of continuous expansion. Early on, when the world was first created, the entire world was filled with connate vitality. The myriad race world's territory was also several times larger than it was now. However, the myriad race's continuous wars later on destroyed too many grotto heavens and blessed land. There were also more and more cultivators, causing the entire world to be constantly damaged and unable to be effectively alleviated and repaired. Therefore, the world kept shrinking and increasing the difficulty of cultivation to control the birth of experts in the world. Now, the heavenly court ruled the 3 realms and established order to control the damage caused by the battles between the myriad race and the expert. There was also an endless supply of connate vitality to replenish the consumption. The heavenly Tao, which had thrown away the huge burden, constantly inhaled and exhaled an endless amount of chaotic qi to increase the origin and providence of the world, causing the myriad race world to expand continuously. The restrictions on the experts in the world also gradually relaxed. This was also the important reason why so many experts could be born in the myriad race. After 1 billion years of development, the total number of supreme heavenly venerables in the entire myriad race world had exceeded 2,000, and the number of ancient heavenly venerables had exceeded 120,000. The number of supreme heavenly venerables and ancient heavenly venerables alone had more than doubled compared to the peak of the previous epoch. It could be said that Yi Tianzong's decision to establish the heavenly court back then was very correct. However, such a situation was basically the peak of the early epoch's heyday. The expansion of the myriad race world required a long time. The outbreak of providence of the various races in the early epoch had basically ended. What followed was a long period of stability. Unless there was something that could accelerate the evolution of the heavenly Tao, the myriad race could only rely on the accumulation of time to produce more experts. The outbreak of providence of the various races in the early epoch had ended. The living beings of the myriad race felt that the speed of their cultivation had obviously slowed down. After a piece of news from the heavenly court spread, everyone understood the reason. The long period of stability had arrived. Other than the battle of the myriad race great emperors that occurred once every 500,000 years in the God realm and the battle of 129,600 regions that occurred once every 30 million years in the God realm, there were very few things that could attract the attention of the experts in the heaven realm. Moreover, once they ascended to the heaven realm, unless they had Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu's Heavenly Emperor token and Heavenly Queen token, no Heavenly Venerables or Supreme Heavenly Venerables could return to the God Realm. Chapter 476. Without the interference of the Celestial Venerables and Supreme Celestial Venerables, the experts of the various races in the God Realm could develop according to their own ideas, thus giving more geniuses a safe environment to grow. When the Heavenly Court era arrived 3 billion years ago, the stable period of the entire world had lasted for 2 billion years. One day, one of Yi Tianzong's doppelgangers came to the Wushang Heavenly Palace and met with Yi Tianzong's original body. The three-realm Skynet is basically done. When do you plan to use it? Yi Tianzong thought for a moment and said, let's wait for another million years. The stable period has lasted for a long time. It's time for the entire world to erupt again. In the past 2 billion years, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had used the endless resources in the Immortal Mansion to cultivate the 9 Revolutions' limitless secret technique to the 5th level. The speed of comprehending the laws of heaven and earth had increased to 32 times. At such a fast speed, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had each comprehended 10 types of laws of heaven and earth to perfection. Furthermore, their comprehension of other laws of heaven and earth had also improved greatly. As long as the 3 of them were willing, they could quickly comprehend 50 types of laws of heaven and earth to perfection in a short 1 million years. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu had the fortune of being the master of the Heavenly Court and the Tao master of the human race. Their strength was increasing at every moment. Compared to 2 billion years ago, the 3 of them were the only ones who knew how strong they were now. 1 million years passed very quickly. One day, the Wushang Heavenly Palace in the center of the Heavenly Court suddenly erupted with boundless divine light. The dazzling divine light quickly radiated across the entire Heavenly Court. It then passed through the Heavenly Court and spread towards the God Realm and the Mortal Realm, illuminating all beings in the 3 realms and time and space. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu's figures mysteriously appeared in the center of the boundless divine light. Their supreme majesty and peerless divine appearance crossed the distance of time and space and imprinted themselves in the eyes of countless beings. Is the Emperor going to do something big again? All the living beings in the world knew about the 3 figures standing amidst time and divine light. They were the leader of the Heavenly Court, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor, the Supreme New Moon Holy Man, and the Supreme Divine Moon Holy Man, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor. At this moment, all the experts in the myriad races world were curious about what the Heavenly Court ruler, who had not shown himself for a long time, wanted to do this time. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu opened their mouths at the same time. I, the Heavenly Emperor of the vast expanse Holy Man, Heavenly Empress of the New Moon Holy Woman, Heavenly Empress of the Divine Moon Holy Woman, establish the nets above snares below the 3 realms today in order to promote the evolution of civilization and the evolution of the heavenly way. I hope that all races and spirits can make full use of this opportunity. After saying that, Xin Yu's figure moved and arrived at the center of the mortal realm. Shen Yu arrived at the center of the God realm. Yi Tianzong arrived at the center of the heaven realm. Then, the 3 of them each took out a jade butterfly-shaped disc. As the 3 of them threw out the jade butterfly-shaped disc, the originally small and exquisite disc quickly expanded. In just 10 breaths' time, it became 10 million miles wide. Streaks of auspicious air rose and celestial clouds filled the sky. As the 3 of them struck out a series of seals, the disc that was tens of thousands of miles in size, under the control of Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu, merged with the origin of the mortal realm, God realm, and heaven realm. The origins of the mortal realm, the God realm, and the heaven realm were actually a part of the origins of the entire myriad races world. When the origins of the 3 worlds were added together, it was enough to take up 70% of the entire myriad races world. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu's actions attracted the attention of the Heavenly Tao, who was wholeheartedly in charge of expanding the world. The eye of the heavenly Tao that was 10 million miles wide didn't do anything. It just closely watched Yi Tianzong and the other two's actions. As the three jade butterfly-shaped discs were fused with the origins of the mortal realm, the God realm and the heaven realm by Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue and Shen Yu using their authority as the masters of the heavenly court, the entire three realms instantly knew the origin and use of the three realms Skynet. The three realms Skynet, simply put, was a network that covered the mortal realm, the God realm and the heaven realm. The mortal realm, the God realm and the heaven realm each had their own independent Skynet. However, these three independent networks were also somewhat related. As long as it was a living being of the three realms, from the moment they were born, they would leave behind a unique identity in the three realms Skynet. This identity would continuously rise as their cultivation realm increased, and thus be used in the entire three realms Skynet. And the meaning and use of the Skynet's existence was to gather the countless living beings of the boundless mortal realm, the God realm and the heaven realm into a spiritual world that transcended time and space. In the spiritual world that was supported by the origins of the three realms, the distance between people was no longer distance. Any two people on opposite sides of the world could ignore the endless distance in the real world and communicate face to face in the spiritual world. Without the restriction of distance, the communication of the living beings of the three realms would be unprecedentedly fast. Without the various kinds of apprehensions that they had in the real world, everyone could deduce and test their own ideas as they wished in the Skynet, and fight life and death battles with other living beings of other races. In short, there were simply too many benefits. Moreover, the mortal realm's Skynet would connect with the divine realm's Skynet once every million years, transmitting the accumulated information from the mortal realm's Skynet to the divine realm's Skynet. Furthermore, some basic information from the divine realm's Skynet would be transmitted to the mortal realm's Skynet, completing an information exchange. Similarly, the God realm's Skynet would connect with the heaven realm's Skynet once every million years, transmitting all the information of the God realm's Skynet to the heaven realm's Skynet. At the same time, some basic information of the heaven realm's Skynet would also be transmitted to the God realm's Skynet. The Skynet of the three realms would constantly exchange information. The information of the mortal realm and the God realm's Skynet would be transmitted to the heaven realm's Skynet, allowing the experts of the heaven realm to continuously comprehend the wisdom of the countless living beings of the myriad races from the Skynet, making up for their own foundation and deficiencies. And the basic information of the God realm and the heaven realm's Skynet would provide the living beings of the mortal realm and the God realm with a clear future path, making the foundation of all living beings of the myriad races more solid and the cultivation system of all living beings of the myriad races more perfect. At the same time, it would also be a kind of inspiration for those heaven's favored talents, allowing them to erupt with even more brilliant inspiration and brilliance. The Skynet of the three realms also set up various kinds of authority, using this to distinguish the level of cultivation and the amount of contribution made. Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu, as the originators of the Skynet of the three realms, the three of them and their respective doppelgangers naturally had the highest authority, and could grant and remove the authority of anyone else. After understanding the function of the Skynet of the three realms, the hearts of the countless living beings of the three realms fiercely skipped a beat, sighing that the heavenly emperor and heavenly empress were indeed extraordinary. As long as one wasn't a fool, one would be able to understand the function and significance of the Skynet of the three realms. After sighing, everyone's consciousness entered their respective Skynets at the first moment. And the Hauran divine sect of the mortal realm, the God realm, and the heaven realm, which had received Yi Tianzong's instructions early on, immediately uploaded all the secret manuals and cultivation methods of the sect, except for the core cultivation methods, secret manuals, and divine abilities of the sect, onto the Skynet. Moreover, each cultivation method, divine ability, and divine ability was accompanied by a detailed description, clearly marked for sale. What was the Howran divine sect? It was the number one sect of the three realms, the sect of the heavenly court's rulers, the heavenly emperor and heavenly empress. It was the strongest sect force of the three realms, 16 supreme heavenly venerates, and 300 ancient heavenly venerates. There wasn't a single sect or sacred ground in the three realms that could compare to the Howran divine sect. The number one sect of the mortal realm, the God realm, and the heaven realm had taken out all the cultivation methods, secret manuals, and divine abilities, except for the core inheritance, clearly marked for sale. They were asking if anyone wanted to buy them or not. Wasn't this nonsense? Who wouldn't want to buy them? Countless forces and experts of the heavenly cycle races went crazy, staring at the all-encompassing Howran divine sect's secret manuals with bloodshot eyes. They were so excited that their hearts were about to jump out of their chests. At this moment, if anyone dared to stop them, countless people would definitely swarm them and tear them to pieces. However, what made them want to vomit blood was that, except for some basic items, the rest of the cultivation methods and secret manuals required various privileges to purchase. Furthermore, there was a limit to the number of people who could purchase them. Thus, after being stimulated by the Howran sect, countless forces, big and small, that had originally been hesitant, no longer hesitated. What was there to hesitate about? There wouldn't be another chance if they hesitated any longer. Therefore, they all uploaded the cultivation methods and secret manuals of their respective sects or families onto the Skynet, exchanging them for contribution points and privileges. In short, they first sold them vigorously, then worked hard to raise their privileges. Finally, they bought them. Chapter 477. After the three realms fell into a state of jubilation, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu entered seclusion. After the creation of the three realms Skynet, the heavenly axiom directly rewarded Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Shen Yu with countless golden auspicious clouds and origin purple clouds. Then, after connecting to the three realms Skynet, it disappeared and continued to expand the world. In the blink of an eye, another 100 million years had passed. The rapid development of the entire myriad races world had continued for 100 million years. And the results of this 100 million years of development were more prosperous than the previous 3 billion years of development accumulation. Ever since the three realms Skynet was established, the speed of communication and development between the living beings of the three realms had multiplied. The repeated exchanges of information through the three realms Skynet had caused everyone in the mortal dimension, God dimension, and heavenly dimension to benefit greatly. The collisions between countless living beings and countless geniuses and experts had given rise to countless new insights and directions, and it had greatly promoted the advancement of the cultivation system of the entire three realms. After the creatures of the mortal realm had obtained various basic information from the God realm, they had a clearer direction of development. The cultivation system of the myriad races had also been jointly deduced by countless outstanding experts and outstanding experts, becoming more perfect and flawless. The speed of cultivation, the efficiency of energy absorption, how to achieve the greatest effect of attack, the arrangement of formations, the research and development of pills, and so on, everything was constantly innovating and advancing to a more profound and powerful level. Due to the continuous improvement of various cultivation methods and pill formulas, the cultivation speed and foundation of the myriad races world was also unprecedentedly strong and solid. Every day, countless experts of the myriad races world ascended to the God realm. And in the 129,600 domains of the God realm, the myriad races world's experts had also erupted with unprecedented development results. Countless large and small forces, under the guidance of the Howran divine sect's countless cultivation methods, secret skills, divine abilities, pills, formations, refining methods, and so on, had developed dazzling results through the wisdom of countless creatures of the myriad races world. With the explosion of the civilizations of the myriad races, The cultivation system from the first heaven of the myth realm to the eighth heaven of the great emperor realm had been perfected to an unprecedented level. Dozens of methods to advance from the great emperor realm to the celestial venerable realm had been researched by the myriad races, and all of them had a high success rate. The celestial venerables and supreme celestial venerables of the myriad races in the heaven realm were not to be trifled with either. They constantly explored many ways to speed up the comprehension of the laws of heaven and earth without any side effects, and developed many celestial venerable level divine pills that were beneficial to cultivation. The number of heavenly venerables and supreme heavenly venerables born in the past 100 million years was more than the increase in the past 500 million years. In the entire myriad races world, the number of ancient seeking heavenly venerables had reached 400,000, and the number of supreme heavenly venerables had reached 5,000. The number of ancient seeking heavenly venerables of the human race had already exceeded 10,000, and the number of supreme heavenly venerables had reached 180. For example, Supreme Heavenly Venerate Void, Yi Haoren, Yi Haoyun, and the others had reached the 9th step of the Supreme Heavenly Venerable Realm. Great Heavenly Venerable Xingyang had also reached the 8th step of the Supreme Heavenly Venerable Realm. In addition, there were more than 10 people who had reached the 7th step of the Supreme Heavenly Venerable Realm. As for the demon race, Heavenly Saints tribe, and Star Spirit tribe, each of them had more than 13,000 ancient seeking heavenly venerables, and more than 260 supreme heavenly venerables. The gap between the number of high-level experts of the human race and the three races was constantly shrinking. As the leaders of the human race, demon race, Heavenly Saints tribe, and Star Spirit tribe, the 9 of them, Tian Yuan, Tian Xin, Tian Chen, Mo Tian, Mou, Mou, Xinghen, Xingyao, and Xinghui, had been cultivating in seclusion for many years. They had constantly obtained the essence of wisdom from the myriad races through the heaven realm's nets of snares, and their speed of comprehending the laws of heaven and earth was far faster than before. In the previous eras, they might not be able to fully comprehend one type of natural law in tens of billions of years. However, in this era of the heaven, due to various reasons and opportunities, in less than 2 billion years since the beginning of this era, each of them had already fully comprehended 3 to 4 types of natural laws. Because of that, their strengths had improved greatly. They had never thought of such a situation before. Even in the most prosperous primordial age of heaven and earth, such a thing had never happened before. They were already like this, let alone Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xinyu. With the help of the wisdom of the myriad races, Yi Tianzong and the other 2 had cultivated the 9 revolutions limitless secret technique to the 6th revolution in just tens of millions of years, and their speed of comprehending the laws of heaven and earth had increased by 64 times. Coupled with the endless luck and merit brought by their various identities and various big actions, Yi Tianzong and the other 2 had comprehended the laws of heaven and earth at a speed that was hundreds of times faster than that of Tian Yuan, Mo Tian, Xinghen, and the others. Their achievements in comprehending the laws of heaven and earth had also far surpassed that of the patriarchs of the demon race, Heavenly Saints tribe, and Star Spirit tribe. Now Yi Tianzong had already comprehended 160 types of laws of heaven and earth to perfection. Of the remaining 2,800 types of laws, more than 60 had been comprehended to 99% or less, more than 120 had been comprehended to 98% or more, and the rest had been comprehended to 60% or more. Ling Xinyue and Shen, you had already comprehended 103 types of laws of heaven and earth to perfection. There were still 30 types of laws of heaven and earth that had been comprehended to 99% or less, 70 types of laws that had been comprehended to 98% or more, and the remaining laws that had been comprehended to 50% or more. With the current strength of Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu, dealing with the 9 perfected supreme heavenly venerables of the demon race, Star Spirit tribe, and heavenly saints' tribe was like child's play. They could easily suppress them. However, the one that had benefited the most was still the Heaven Tao of the myriad races world. Because the Heaven Tao was connected to the Three Realms Skynet, and the jade butterfly disk of the Three Realms Skynet had the ability to automatically purify all kinds of negative thoughts, with the wisdom essence of the myriad races world, the speed of the Heaven Tao's evolution and growth had also increased rapidly. In just 100 million years, the extent of the Heaven Tao's evolution and growth had surpassed the gains of the previous hundreds of billions of years. The rapid growth of the Heaven Tao also increased the speed of the origin of heaven and earth. The mortal realm, divine realm, and heaven realm continued to expand along with the expansion of heaven and earth. The strength of space, the strength of matter, the concentration of heaven and earth essence, and so on were also slowly increasing. At the highest point of the heaven realm, in the central celestial palace of the Supreme Heavenly Court, Yi Tianzong, Ling Xinyue, and Xin Yu, who had not appeared for a long time, suddenly appeared. At this time, in the entire central celestial palace, all the existences of the heavenly courts, heavenly cycle prime, sovereign, and above were present. Yi Tianzong looked at the people of the heavenly court below. His entire body was filled with boundless golden light and purple gas. Boundless divine power that suppressed heaven and earth filled the central celestial palace. In his unfathomable eyes, there seemed to be laws surging. Heaven and earth were opening up. Boundless divine light pierced through the void between the opening and closing, causing the people of the heavenly court to be in awe. Today, I summoned you here because I received a message from the Heaven Tao. Because of the appearance of the Skynet of the Three Realms, the evolution of the Heaven Tao has accelerated. The world is constantly expanding, and its power is also increasing. The endless middle worlds and small worlds in the chaos around the world of myriad races have also been attracted by the Heaven Tao and are approaching the world of myriad races. In the following years, the world of myriad races will become one. Those middle worlds and small worlds will be integrated into our world under the guidance of the Heaven Tao. The races of the Three Realms need to be prepared. These creatures that are integrated into our world are naturally the creatures of the world of myriad races. Every creature that enters the Three Realms will have a 200-year protection period. During this 200-year protection period, you and the other races can enter these creatures of the lower realms to conduct business, but you are not allowed to bully them. Many of you have also experienced countless calamities when you were weak before you grew to where you are today. I hope you all will take care of yourselves. Yes, we will obey the Emperor's decree, everyone replied. After everyone left, Xin Yu said to Yi Tianzong, the world of myriad races will become one. The Hao Ranjun sect in the profound spirit world will finally not drift outside. The people of the profound spirit world can be considered to have a way out. Hearing that, Yi Tianzong nodded his head and said, that's right, after billions of years, the profound spirit world has also reached its end. If it does not enter the Great Thousand World, no matter how strong the middle world is, it will always disappear after a long period of time. My clone can also be retrieved. After Yi Tianzong finished speaking, he thought for a while, then continued, how about this, just in case I'll make a move? The profound spirit world will disappear in at most a few hundred years. It might not be able to last until the day it is annexed by the world of myriad races. Let the profound spirit world be the first world to be annexed.